Ooh, I can hear it. Oh, yeah, right. I have the window open. Hey, okay. I was checking the audio levels. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I can speak loud for a moment or two because she hasn't gone to bed yet. So thank you for joining us. I am Sean Cromwell, creator of the animated series comic and host of Random Back Issue Comics on this very YouTube channel. I'm joined by Steve, and so we're gonna start coming up with topics, which is probably gonna be just watching old movies and walking through them and talking about those. Shortly, I will have to keep my voice down because the wife goes to bed. And we live in a small apartment. So I'll go from this to about this. Anyway, how you doing? What?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, okay.
Everything's doing well. How are you doing? Realize my
Amber. What?
Is that better?
I can close that. Yeah, you're fine. Chicken?
Okay.
You're like stuck. Your image.
Oh, chicken.
Your image is like way. Wonder what you look like on the live stream on YouTube. Oh, I should have kept it open.
Watch my screen here, not mine.
Hey, it's live.
I'm moving fine.
Yeah. No, you're strobing. Whatever.
Do a little dance.
Do a little dance. Comments. No comments.
Got nothing on my end, man.
What? You got nothing? What?
Got nothing on my end. Looks fine. Everything on mine looks fine.
That's how mine is. But you're like stuck.
Well, see, I'm moving on my side.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe exit and come back in, see if that does something.
All right.
I said and come back in. Did not come back in. Hey, add the stream. Hey, you're a little better. You're not moving. Are you there?
Here, can you hear?
I can hear you. You're just not moving. It's a very nice picture of you, though.
It's weird.
Oh, now you're moving.
Walking back and forth. On my screen, it's moving. I got no static on my side.
You're all pixely.
It's so weird.
Let's make you big.
I'm still moving.
You're
very pixelated, though. I'll give you that.
What?
This camera looks.
Oh, yeah, you're
it's this camera, so
it's making like slightly staticky noises in the audio, and you're not moving. But whatever, we can work with it, I guess.
It's weird. I haven't changed anything.
So before we start talking about critters, I watched Colossal tonight.
Yeah, I watched it a long time. Me and Lindsay watched it. I was trying to remember. Like, I hadn't what you're talking about when you said Colossal sucked.
Oh yeah, it's Anne Hathaway,
and she controls Anne Hathaway. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Somewhat.
Anne Hathaway controls a giant monster in South Korea, and I remember the trailers making it seem like it was a comedy. It's not a comedy. They barely do anything funny in it, and the first half of the movie feels like a completely different movie from the second half. Like, characters make decisions, and it's just like... Anyway, Critters 2. Did you watch it?
Yes, Critters 2. I watched it. I watched it on Friday before I left for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I knew I wouldn't happen yesterday.
I did not know it was an Easter movie.
Yeah, I forgot an Easter movie, and then I was like, "Oh, right, Easter Bunny, I can't wait." And I saw this movie when I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it. I rented it quite a few times after that.
Oh yeah.
This was good, so funny. And as Easter Bunny, that things just started going, and it's like picking up real quick.
You are really robotic. Let me check it on the live screen or on the actual stream. 1 second. Yeah, you look terrible.
It's fucking weird. My screen is showing me perfect. Fuck.
Yeah, for me, you're like cutting
I know it's not my
in and
hand.
out, and you're strobing, and
Keeps
everything looks really.
keeps like.
Oh, that's better.
How's that better?
Well,
All right.
Your audio is still a little weird. I'll just talk to myself.
You know what? Here.
We should probably start these in advance and figure out what's going on beforehand.
Well, we were having. Is this better?
Oh yeah, you're much better now. You're actually moving.
All right.
I see the light.
All right, I know what the fucking problem is.
I see the light.
The problem is my Apple TV box thingy. It's giving me issues for some reason. So we'll just
yeah, you're great now.
That out. All right, cool.
Well,
that's weird. I've been using that for the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're good.
And it's never.
Right, Critters 2. I made a lot of notes.
Yeah, I gotta find it now.
Sorry, the video?
Ooh, yeah, I have the video up on my other screen. So
where
I can
is DVD player? So Critters 2, when it starts, I actually really like the music, which surprised me. Oh god,
yeah.
It's playing. Oh god, well, it's huge. Hold on. Okay.
Okay. That's what she said.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Jump back.
Loved how it started off back in space like the first one did.
Whoa, spoilers. So it starts out. So because we didn't go over the first one at all.
Oh no,
First one. The critters crash on a farm, and then
havoc ensues.
Yeah, havoc.
Yeah, havoc.
And a family fends them off, and and a small town is overrun with monsters. It was amusing. I think that the critters had more dialogue in the first one than in the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely didn't talk as much. I loved when Harv came back.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to it. So it starts with guys in cheap spacesuits on like an asteroid or something. And they kill a thing and they get attacked by an alien. And then they're on the ship. And it's the no-face guys from the first movie. But one, I swear to God, the one guy is discount Tim Curry. He looks exactly like Tim Curry.
As a kid, I always thought he was Bon Jovi.
It's the hair. But he has like the same facial structure as Tim Curry.
Yeah, it's probably a stunt double or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And then so Charlie from the first movie, the town drunk, is just magically on the spaceship. And I was like, did I miss something? Why? I thought
he went with them at the end of the first movie. I
don't have any memory of that.
Yeah.
Love you. Good night. I have no memory of him leaving, so I was like, "What the crap?"
Oh, that's funny. No, I remember that was one of the big things when I saw the second movie, and he was like one of the first things I saw. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I love that continuity, and it felt natural to me seeing him in space, and he was doing his thing. Like they didn't just kill him off like in Aliens.
Yeah,
Aliens 3. So it was cool. I really enjoyed that.
I guess I could actually pull that up and because I have the DVD in the computer right now, and it has both of them on it.
Nice.
So yeah, they're on like an asteroid that has like a swamp, and then they go back onto their ship after they've caught whatever alien they were there for because they're bounty hunters, and he sticks the head in like the freeze dried head compartment.
Yeah, that's great.
Freezer compartment for heads.
Multiple heads.
Very amusing.
Yes, very.
So then a giant big brained alien hologram communicates to them.
Yeah, something. Something comes out to them.
Is this movie considered bigger budget than a lot of the other 80s movies that came out?
I don't know. It had I think the sequels always get a little bit more because the first ones did so well.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking because like the caliber of special effect makes me think of movies like Arena, if you've ever seen that.
I haven't seen Arena.
like crap sci-fi that you would see on Saturday morning on HBO.
Right, I just think that's where special effects were for the horror movies in that genre. Because like later on, when you see the giant ball,
yeah, it's just
it's just patchwork. Like there's just some dude in there running. It's like one of those giant.
That would be amazing.
That's all I could picture.
Yeah.
And then when the critters are in balls, all I can picture is like when they come out of a doorway, is there's someone in there just like kick him as hard as they can to make him come flying out. I
love whenever in this movie they're attacking a truck and someone's whipping them at the door.
Whipping them at people, and when they come flying out of windows and shit, people are back there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna attack. Watch this. It's like dodgeball with critters.
Yeah,
it's great.
See the end of the first one. I think the other alien. Oh wait, there's Charlie. The other alien just looks like him. Oh, and then he runs after him. What? I never took that to mean that he went with them.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Maybe because I saw the first one, the second one in my head. That's how it's always been. Is that he went with them.
Well, they don't.
Charlie Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. So then you get the kid from. I really want to watch the Orville now to see if they make critter jokes with the actor that's on the Orville, the kid.
I don't know. Did he ever do anything else other than Critters? I never looked him up.
Well, let's go to the tape. IMDb it.
Oh, man.
Critters. Okay, go.
Am I still living?
Hey, you're good. It's perfect now.
Cool.
Brad. Scott Grimes. Burp. Scott Grimes. He's Family Guy voices, Mystery Alaska, Robin Hood, TV shows. A lot of TV shows. Yeah, he's done some stuff. Twilight Zone, Little Boy Lost, Critters.
Yeah. I watched the beginning of Orville, maybe the first season, and maybe a couple episodes into season 2, but just lost interest in it. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed, but I was expecting more of a comedy, and they started adding more drama and like topics that I thought were weird for space
Comedy.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was it did have its comedy, but it wasn't billed. I don't know. It was billed as a comedy, and it was more something else.
I've heard that's a big issue with it, is that they made it more like, hey, Seth MacFarlane is doing a comedy, and then it's like it's not that much of a comedy.
No,
it's basically Star Trek.
Yeah, it really is. I was expecting like a parody of Star Trek of some sort, but it's like Galaxy Quest meets Star Trek without the Galaxy Quest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Brad from the first movie, the kid, the redheaded kid that is on the Orville, is riding a bus back to his hometown of Grover's Bend. And there's a nosy bus driver that's harassing him.
Well, he's the only person on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting in the front seat.
Which is dumb.
He's like asking to be...
Yeah,
it's asking to be talked to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's his own fault.
Exactly.
Then we get Riff Raff pulling up in a Jeep. And I think I eventually wrote down his name, but I call him the bully and the antique seller. And he wants to sell him some eggs that he found in the barn from the first movie, because the end of the first movie, there's eggs left over.
Yeah, it pans down. That's like the last shot is eggs.
Which also...
which was 2 years has passed, by the way. I don't know if you said that.
No, I did not.
No, you didn't. So 2 years has passed. So these eggs are...
They've just been sitting there. How long is the gestation period?
Apparently 2 years.
Yeah. But they also, the guy says, it's freezing in here. And I went, aha, that's like a setup. It never pays off. But we'll get to that.
No.
Because I thought that was how they were going to have to kill them. Was it
No.
kind of like the Blob? They would freeze them or something.
Right.
Oh, spoiler for the Blob.
I think it was cold in there, and that's what kept them from hatching. And since they moved them,
yeah,
it's now.
Yeah, because later they're sitting next to a space heater.
Oh, were they? I just thought when he throws the dog food down, the smell of dog food is what the smell of food got them to hatch. Because didn't that girl have like a candy bar or something? The chocolate egg was next to the one the girl painted, and that hatched. I thought it was food is what made them hatch.
I think it's just warm enough.
Possibly. My impression was food. Being near food, the eggs being near a food source.
Well, there's a shot. I'll try to find it. Actually, here it is right here. I wonder if I can share it. Or if it'll just black out my DVD. Share screen. Application. Oh, yeah. It's not going to work. Stupid Macs. Stop screen sharing.
What was the... Can you give me the time code?
2130. Here. This is how we're going to do this. Real classy, scientific way.
I got it. 2130?
Uh-huh. There you go for the people playing at home. There's a space heater next to a crate of eggs. See it? See it?
Damn it.
Fine. It's fine. Nobody's watching. People are like critters too. Who gives a crap?
That came out in 1988.
Yeah, it's great. So he tries to sell the eggs to the cigar antique guy, and he's like, I don't want them. And the kid's like, I'll take beer for them. And then the guy says, load them up.
And then he grabs a stack of...
No, that's later.
Oh, yeah, that is later. Sorry, you started talking about the space heater, and I went to the next scene.
Yeah, I know. So he Yeah, at this moment, I was like, this is ridiculously appropriate since it's an Easter movie. And we're now in March.
Yeah. Is Easter this month or next month?
April 4th, I think. It's the same every year, you would think. Or no, it isn't.
Because I think last year was on April 1st. Or was that the year before?
I don't know. 4th, Easter, 2021.
Cool.
I looked it up because of our Lent that we're doing, that we totally cheated on yesterday. We went to this. It's called what is it called?
I don't know.
Video honor system. It's basically just a box outside of the post office in somewhere. And it's just one of those ones that you like pull the door open, and normally there'd be like newspapers inside.
Right, yeah.
But they painted the outside, and then inside they usually fill it with like DVDs that you can go there and trade. It's like those libraries that you see.
Yeah, those little libraries. Yeah.
Yeah, we went yesterday. Nothing I wanted. It was just all VHS, but not even like VHSs that I wanted. And I just dumped a bunch of DVDs in there for people.
Oh, nice.
So Andrea was like, I thought we were going home. And she goes the opposite direction and pulls right into a Chili's. So we ate like crap. We had the chocolate molten cake. Mm-hmm. It was such a great idea until we got home and she's laying on the couch and I'm just like sprawled out on the floor dying.
Yeah, I could never eat that stuff at all.
Oh, I love it, but
I would never make it out of the parking lot.
I was so full. I was like, oh. And we've been trying not to eat terrible for like 2 weeks, and then we do this. We're just like,
oh yeah, I bet you feel it.
Yeah. Anyway, so the town. What's the name of the town?
Bend.
Grover's Bend.
Yeah.
Grover's Bend. They're having their annual Easter egg hunt, and they introduced the character Megan, which I wrote down as a stupid bee parking a truck. Because she pulls in, bangs the door on the car, and then climbs out onto the car, and it's like perfect fit. And I'm like, I hope you die.
Like a glove.
I also started referring to her as Mallory from Family Ties, because that's all I could think of.
Yeah.
So her dad runs the newspaper, and the secretary from the first movie for the cops.
Yes.
Is now a newspaper person, and I don't know if she's supposed to be the same person.
Yes. Okay. Because in the first movie, she was like, all she could talk about was everybody's gossip. And so when the new sheriff came in, apparently he fired her and she went to be a reporter, which was her dream.
See, I didn't catch that part. But the newspaper people are excited that what's his face, Brad.
Only her, the main dude, the dude who owns it, doesn't really care.
Yes,
he's like, there's no story there.
Yeah, because they all think it was faked. The first movie.
A lot of people do, and I don't understand why she's so excited. I didn't understand her enthusiasm other than it was gossip, and
maybe that's all you need.
I guess so, but she was like way over. Like, I think she was going overboard.
Sure.
But it's an 80s B horror movie, so what do you expect? You gotta have one.
Yes. I'm watching her back the truck in. What a bitch. And how old is she supposed to be? She looks like she's approaching 30.
17, I think.
And then the kid, Brad, looks like he's 14 to me.
Oh, yeah. 13 or 12.
Yeah, I doubt it, but...
Maybe 13.
He's like, "Are you a senior?" And I'm like, "She has kids at home."
Senior citizen.
Yeah. Early bird special. So the kid goes to visit his grandmother who's running a daycare, and the kids want chocolate, and they're asking for like Clark bars and stuff, and she's like, "Vegetables are high in fiber, and we need that for a healthy BM." I was like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Eat your vegetables. We don't want to be constipated."
And like all of her food that she gives people throughout the movie are like made from plants.
Oh yeah, she's the hippie. You
Yeah.
know, she's the hippie vegan trying to shove it all down your throats and stuff. She's like, humans have long intestines. The meat just rots as it goes through.
Just sits in there and rots.
The thing later on, she's like, "Damn meat eaters."
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh man, almost everything that comes out of her mouth is something about a meat eaters once the critters show up.
So like every time they show this kid, all I can picture is the show Pete and Pete, and I'm like, he should be the third Pete.
He really should
be Pete and Pete and Pete.
That was a good show.
Pete. I liked the shorts. I was never really big on the show, but the shorts where he's like mowing the lawn along a highway, and then he starts like blowing up cars with his mind because he's so delirious. I was like, those are good.
Yeah.
Also, I only remember like one other episode one like main episode where little Pete thinks he can time travel if he rides his bike fast enough.
Who didn't?
As daylight savings time is switching over.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Interesting. So like 3 a.m.
I guess. I don't know. I don't think he accomplishes it. Yes, I agree. They taste delicious.
So good.
So they recast the sheriff from the first movie also.
Did they?
Yeah, it's.
I thought he looked different, but I thought they just gave him like hair and like darker hair.
No, it's two totally different actors. The one is from Northern Exposure and like a bunch of other things. He's always like the gruff cowboy type.
Right.
And the first one, you'll know him when you see him. He's in everything. They're both in like everything.
That's why I was like, it is him. No, it's not. I kept going back and forth, but I was like, whatever. He fits. It works.
Emmett Walsh is in the first one. Where'd you go? Put him up. That's the first sheriff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy.
He's from Blade Runner and stuff.
Yeah.
Second one is Critters 2. I'll just leave these windows open. Harv. Barry Corbin.
Oh,
he looks totally different there. That's not going to be helpful. That's what he normally looks like. Well, when he's younger. Here's Northern Exposure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, right. And the first movie had Neelix. I was always wondering why he looked familiar to me. And it was probably because of Critters. Saw him in Critters as the deputy.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him.
I'm always surprised to see him. And him and Richard Picardo, the hologram.
Mm-hmm.
He did a bunch of like kids holiday movies.
Robert Picardo.
Robert Picardo, that's it.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of kids
too.
Yeah. Someone, he was like stealing toys from a Christmas toy store. It was fucking hilarious with this magic sack. Yeah, it was great.
Magic sack, huh?
Magic sack.
Yeah. So the sheriff's down on his luck, and he's living in a trailer, and he's a recluse.
Drunk.
Got
he's
fired.
now the town drunk.
They voted him out of office as sheriff probably after the Critters stuff.
Most likely.
And then, so the bully guy and the antique dealer make a trade for brewskis. Why is it in 80s movies they're always called brewskis?
That's what it was in the 80s, man. Gotta get your brewskis, man.
Nobody ever calls them that anymore.
Well, not anymore. But back in the 80s, everybody called them brewskis.
Why? That's stupid.
No, man. Robert, yes. His is huge filmography.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A
lot of cameos.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of time. Oh, he's in freaking Inner Space.
Yeah. Smallville.
Oh.
Everything, man. Find him everywhere.
So the kid makes the trade for the eggs that they found in the barn to the antique guy for 2 cases of brewskis and a stack of very well used Playboys.
Yep.
And then, and that's good because as he's driving away, one of the Playboys falls out.
Who would put magazines on top of beer?
Dumb
with an open, yeah, and it's like the back of a pickup truck almost.
Well, he has a Jeep. He doesn't have
a Jeep. That's right. Yeah, it's a Jeep without a roof.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, shit just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't really care about your payment there, do you, kid?
Yeah. So on the radio, a Hungry Heifer commercial is playing as a Playboy flies out of the back of the Jeep. And that is a setup. And this is the point where I think they actually called him Charlie, and I was like, wait, when did Charlie go with the aliens? Because I thought, like, at the end, I think I don't remember if the one alien that's always switching faces at the end of the first one, I think he looked like Charlie. I might be wrong. And then Charlie went with them. I don't know. I just assumed it was the other alien, the bounty
hunter.
Gotcha. So anyway, Discount Tim Curry says that No Face Guy is waiting for the right face.
Yes.
And then, I can't remember why they show nerd extraordinaire Eddie Deason, who's in every 80s movie as the nerd.
Yep.
But he's working at the Hungry Heifer. And then, that's what it was, because the kid goes there for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why he was there. Maybe he was hungry. I guess, yeah, because when he's walking to meet his grandmother.
Oh, yeah, because he got a hamburger. No, that was before, though.
Was it?
Yeah, because he stuffs his mouth.
Oh, right, yeah.
And she's like, "You've been eating meat, boy." Anyway, he picks a fight with the bully that's hitting on Mallory from Family Ties.
Oh, I thought that was her boyfriend. Like, she was just...
Maybe. But he was also like, you got no other options. So when you're the 2 kids in the town, I guess you have to mate. And then, so then she gives him a ride in her truck. And she says she works for the newspaper and she's a reporter. And he's like, oh, it's like Jimmy Olsen with breasts.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was good to me because I just watched Man of Steel last night.
Nice. I'm watching those backwards. I watched Justice League, then I watched Bats vs. Soups. Now I gotta watch Man of Steel.
I'm a sap when it comes to movies. If you have like heroic moments and good music, I will just start blubbering. I will.
Jesus.
So we're watching Man of Steel and I was like, oh my god, this whole movie, I'm just a mess. And then, like, I knew that the Pa Kent tornado thing.
Mhm.
I knew I was gonna get worked up by that.
Right.
But I said to Andrea, I was like, "You haven't really had an interest in watching this recently?" And she's like, "No, I just didn't want to cry." And I was like, I did not remember how emotional this movie is.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Me too. It's good.
I agree. I concur. Jimmy Olsen with breasts. Oh, so the antique guy sells the eggs to Pete and Pete's grandmother. It says they're from Europe. And she gives one to a little girl. The little girl of the newspaper guy, the sister of Mallory from Family Ties.
Yeah. Mallory too.
Mallory too. Discount Mallory from Family Ties.
Oh
My god. But they're gonna paint these eggs, and I don't know why. If she thinks that they're European, and if she thinks they're antiques, crazy and dumb.
Well, it is what it is.
So she takes Pete and Pete back to his grandma's house. Is this where he starts like rifling through his old stuff?
Oh, yeah.
There's the space heater. Space heater with the eggs that weren't bought by the grandmother. And that heats them up. And she gives her an egg. And then antique guy finds his dog is dead. And baby critters are adorable.
Yeah, it was kind of cute.
They're like this big. They're like, Wah. They're like, Wah.
Mouths and teeth.
Oh, and then when they're attacking him, and they just look like tribbles rolling around on him, I laughed.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, the whole movie.
His dog is named Chili. I did not realize that. So he's like, Chili dog.
Chili dog.
Awful.
Amazing.
Oh, I love the baby critters. Adorable. Eat antique seller. Yeah, Bradley visiting for Easter. Box of stuff from first movie. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Thoughts? Other thoughts?
I just like them all popping out of the dog, coming out of the dog on the one side. It was pretty neat. It was good. Good.
Puppeteering.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and there's just a line of them on the floor.
And then just like, oh yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
So the newspaper guy puts his youngest daughter to bed, and she drops her egg on, or puts her egg on the floor, which hatches, and then we cut to Critter Cam, like looking up at her hand dangling off the bed, and then her foot. And then the father comes in to check on her again, and he steps on it.
Oh, your Easter candy's gone bad.
Yeah. Oh, she puts... Oh. See, she puts a chocolate bunny next to the heat register on the floor. And then the egg next to that. So it's probably food and heat, because the guy spoons out dog food in the first part. Well played. Yeah, so we got to a church, and people are painting all of these eggs, and it's really distracting because in the lower corner over here is somebody that's holding an egg, and they have a paintbrush, and they're just doing this, and no, they're not doing anything. It's not doing a thing. It's not painting.
That's amazing.
And
I
it
love
it already looks like it has details painted on. So now they're just brushing it. It's funny.
That is hilarious. I love people like that. Like scenes where they show people like a restaurant. I'll watch the people in the background.
And they're staring at the camera.
They're doing like weird shit because they're not eating, and they're just told to like mouth conversations because they're not. There's no sound in the restaurant because they'll put it in later.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just told to act like they're having a conversation.
Acting. I like in movies when they do mistakes. So what were we watching? Something with an alligator, and somebody like reached. They dropped their beer into like a lake, and they reached down next to the dock, and for like 2 frames, you see a hand grab that hand, and he's like, ah. And Andrea's like, why would they do that? And I'm like, I don't know. They didn't even show an alligator. They didn't even need that shot.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. It's getting late, and I usually snack, and I shouldn't be snacking.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat dinner after this.
Oh, at 2 a.m.
I just got home from work.
Oh yeah. Do you want to run and grab a snack?
Oh no, I'm fine right now.
And I'll do a little dance.
No, I'm good. I'm still hyper from the drive, and so I need to.
There's another movie. Stay Tuned. We were watching.
Oh my god, I love Stay Tuned. I was thinking about that the other day.
It's a good one.
It is.
The kid is in the backyard riding his bicycle, and he's trying to get away from the satellite. Is like sucking him in, and the kid's like because it's pulling at him, and then you see these hands lift the kid up like this, and you're like, what? It's pretty good. Anyway, person painting egg with no paint, and then the old women are hiding the eggs before Easter services. Outside of the church. And there's a kid that drops an egg and he throws it out the window, which is a good transition because then they pan over and you see all the eggs have hatched, which goes again with your theory because they put all the candy around the eggs. So they're probably smelling that stuff. Yeah, and that goes with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, but they're outside at this point too, so you got the sun beating down on them now. Mm-hmm. So it's probably both happening. Yeah. Both.
Yeah.
So far, they showed both things being in the scene.
Effective. Yeah. Eggs have hatched. So the new sheriff has been volunteered as the Easter Bunny.
Oh, he's not happy about it at all.
Well, I ain't Sheriff Harv. So I don't understand. He goes outside in the suit. Is he gonna piss outside? Because he starts messing with the zipper.
Well, I think he was going to hide eggs.
The eggs are already hidden, though.
I thought he was going to hide more eggs, and then he sees something, and he goes over, and I don't think his suit was all the way on. I thought he was still putting it on before he either goes into the church from the back.
I don't know.
The kids or something. And then the critters get into his suit because it wasn't all the way on.
Whoa. I can't tell if... Okay, he's putting it on. Kid's dropping the egg. I can skip. Skip, you bastard. He's just walking out. Oh, I guess it's not fully... Yeah. It just isn't all the way. I thought that he was like, I'm going to go outside and piss. And I was like, that's unseemly.
He's the law.
Yeah. What are you going to do, arrest me?
Call the cops.
I am the cops.
Uh,
So, for some reason, he starts hopping, I guess, to practice.
I guess so.
And then he sees the
Look what I can do.
He sees the critter egg. And he bends over it in a very funny shot because it looks huge. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought they were just like, they obviously jump into his suit, but it looked to me like they were just flinging themselves at his nuts to punch him in the nuts.
That could have been the case too.
This is probably
what the people were trying to do. They're trying to like hit him in the nuts with the critter balls.
And he's like, you guys are jerks. This is probably the highlight of the whole movie.
Oh, I know it was. I love this part. That and the critter ball. The critter ball was probably the
main event.
Yeah. Since it's like what is on the packaging.
Yeah, it was the big selling point in the trailers. That was all I remember from it growing up.
I don't remember trailers.
So the priest is giving the sermon, and the Easter Bunny comes through the window. Dead.
There's no like subtleness to it. It's just like dead. Like what? What? How did you fling yourself through the window and just instantly die?
Why did you fling yourself through the window?
I need help. I'll fling myself through the window. Like that took a lot of strength, and you're now dead from it. Like, that was.
I warned the town.
Nobody believed it was critters.
No, but they're like, oh, he was eaten from the stomach out or something. Or had his stomach eaten out.
Yeah, they said it was like something weird. What did they say it was though? They called it something. They're like, oh, it's just blah blah blah.
I don't know.
I
was taking notes as I was watching it. So they go to see Harv in his trailer, and Harv is like, "I'm getting the hell out of Dodge."
Yeah. He knows what's up.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's a lot of notes. So the spaceship finally lands with the bounty hunters because they were. I guess I forgot to mention that they. Oh no, the big brain alien tells them they're still critters on Earth. It knows.
What do they call them? Like
Krites.
Krites. Yeah, Krites are still on Earth.
Yeah,
Krite presence is detected on Earth still. No, I was there. We wiped them all out.
Yeah. Should have. Well, I was gonna say they should have burned the house down, but they rebuilt the house when they left.
They were in the barn. They didn't touch the barn.
And then the kid and his family just moved anyway.
Yeah. Well, apparently they were like being ridiculed because no one believed them that there was space porcupines.
Sure. So Charlie comes out of the spaceship and happens across the Playboy from before. That's what we call setup and payoff, kids.
Yes.
And
great foreshadowing.
Yeah. And Lee, the no-face bounty hunter, starts trying to take Charlie's face, and he holds up the centerfold of the Playboy, and he turns into that chick and bursts out of the costume. I really miss the 80s.
I know.
And then she has a staple across
it's great.
Because the magazine did.
That is staple.
Yeah. And she totally looks like a heavy metal type character.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is. Absolutely great.
Oh, she's bursting. The butt fills out. Oh, there's the boob. That's great.
It is.
He looks so much like Tim Curry.
Oh, in the second one, yes, I have to agree. But in the first one, I always thought it was Bon Jovi.
Yeah. There's the staple. And they put a shine effect on the staple when they cut to a close up of it to make you realize
It's a staple.
it's a staple joke. And she walks away basically naked. And Charlie's like, "You're gonna need this." She's like a Fact 2 character for
Kill Crits.
Crates.
Kill Crates.
She's
I
like
say Cratons from fucking
Farscape.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
You think that's what I keep seeing in my head? Just the word, not the.
I gotcha. I put best sci-fi outfit ever. There's a reference to the brain from Planet Arrows. It's a B movie.
Heard of it.
So they go to the antique shop and they find Sal freaking out, the gossip woman.
Yeah.
And then I put out does Sal not know about critters?
I don't think she ever saw him in the first movie.
Nah. No, but like Neelix died because of them, and then she knew crap was happening.
Yeah. I think that's where space porcupines came from, and probably why she was fired. She wouldn't stop talking about him.
Maybe. So Brad goes into the shack, the door, and Mr. Quigley, the antiques guy, just falls. He's been standing there apparently waiting to be dead.
They propped him up against the door. So when everybody's...
That's even better if critters are just like vindictive.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, they're sitting there like doing their thing.
We'll just screw with them. So then they attack the truck. And people are just whipping them at the door. The
kicking them as hard as they can and whipping them.
The on-set crew.
Yeah.
I love when they bite.
I don't know.
They're so good. And one bites a tire and gets filled up. And then they run him over. And then it cuts to just a critter in his grandmother's fridge.
And that's where the grandmother is. Man, that's my second favorite part is when he goes to get his grandmother. The critters are back.
Well, she's like, no shit.
Something meat eaters.
Damn meat eaters.
Yeah, I love that.
And then he runs upstairs to get the remote. And I'm like, shouldn't you kill the remote from the first movie that'll signal the spaceship and the bounty hunters? And I'm like, shouldn't you kill this thing first?
Yeah, you need to get rid of that thing.
And then she's like, oh, you mean the remote control? It's on the TV. And he's like, it's not a remote control. And then he hits the button and the front door explodes. And then they're like, wow, that was fast.
Yep.
And then there's a critter just like plastered on the wall. So gross.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's good.
I love that. That's practical special effects, man. You don't see that shit anymore.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
Not a blue screen in sight.
Maybe matte paintings, but
maybe. Towards the end, they did. I'm like, they blew the budget on that shot because it's Charlie walking around. Charlie.
Oh yeah.
So Tim Curry and the Playmate show up. There's a reunion with Charlie, and he says that he's sober now because he has a purpose, being a bounty hunter.
And there's probably no space alcohol anyway.
Not with that attitude. He's like, I gotta go where the cosmic winds blow me. I was like, what?
He made it with an alien. You know he did.
You
But
would
2 years.
too.
Huh?
What? Where am I?
Who is this?
Miracle Whip? Prank caller, don't call back. There's a critter in the newspaper shop.
Yep. They're everywhere.
And then you get the clip that my friend sent me last week of critters in the Hungry Heifer, and it's totally Gremlins because they're effing everything up, and they're eating the salad bar, and they're flipping burgers. Yeah. So I heard that Critters was actually written before Gremlins, and then I guess Gremlins filmed first. So then they did extensive rewrites to try and separate them so that people wouldn't be like, "Oh, you just ripped this off."
Oh, gotcha. Because Gremlins was 86 too, right?
I don't know. Oh crap! Cancel. I hit the wrong button. Oh, Gremlins release 84.
Really?
84, and then
Well, this was 86. Gremlins or Critters 1 was.
Yeah.
This is 88.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Well, yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I like puppet monsters.
I do too. They're both great to me.
And so then the bounty hunters show up and they start shooting them like in a shooting gallery.
They're just going to town.
And one dives in a deep fryer and comes out hairless and pink. And they shoot the hair off of one, so he's bald. And he turns and says, "Bitchin'."
It's amazing.
It's good.
Yeah, they didn't talk as much in this one as they did the first one.
No, I really wanted them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. Every time. I brought it up last week. Stop playing. I don't want to lose my place. There's GIF. Weapons. Yeah, this one's so good. Share screen. They have weapons. So what?
Oh.
Fuck. It's so good. Yeah, see, as a kid, I just thought they were just monsters. I didn't know they had any kind of personality.
These ones were prisoners.
The original ones?
Yeah, the original ones were prisoners, space prisoners.
Yeah.
In jail, and they escape. And then these ones are their kids who have no idea where they're from or what the hell kind of species they actually are. They just, I'm alive, I want to eat.
Which might explain why they don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
I still wanted them to jabber to each other.
Yeah.
So they discover that the critters feed together all in one spot, which is helpful later on.
Yeah.
And they show them basically wreaking havoc on the town and chewing on power lines. There's one that's rolling towards the camera, and you can see all the strings attached to it, pulling it.
That's funny.
So they go to the newspaper place, and newspaper dad is shot with a spine. And I assume that's just a way to get him out of the movie, because he didn't really do anything.
None of them do. The movie's about Brad doing his thing again, just like he did in the first movie, but they involve the whole town this time. Because, you got to go bigger in the second movie. So instead of a farm, they have to do the whole town.
Yeah.
And get everybody involved. And then, but can't have them doing too much because the movie's still about Brad and this girl doing their thing.
Yeah.
Basically, which is trying to hook up.
Mm-hmm. Sort of. So at this point, I think they call him Wesley, the bully.
Mm.
And he's driving his Jeep, and he goes past the Polar Iceberger, which is another thing where I was like, oh, it's going to be ice. They're going to have to freeze them with something. And, hey, Vader. Lunch break. So they're going to have to, like, freeze the critters to kill them, is my thinking now, because
they keep saying that.
Beginning of the movie, it's freezing in here, and then they drive past the Polar Iceberger, and I was like, okay, it's going to be like the Blob. Has nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Maybe
Just
they
words and images.
Maybe they lost the budget.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Spend it all on the alien that could change its face.
Yeah. Or that one shot that I said is Charlie walking around himself. Megan makes me think of Mallory from Family Ties. So they're all hiding out in a church. In the church.
Yep.
The critters have made a roadblock. I guess that would be like them trapping people in the town.
Probably.
Yeah.
Trapping their food source.
And then, for no good reason, the hot playmate bounty hunter turns into Eddie Deason. And I put playmate.
Again, they blew their budget on the face-changing alien.
Probably.
Because he did it like quite a few times.
And they really just needed to keep him as the playmate.
Yeah. But they needed another gag, and they probably like, oh, we've got some extra money, let's use it. Without realizing, oh, we should have used that for something else.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots where I think the budget could have been utilized better. I put the playmate becomes nerd. Unfortunate. But the town's deserted, and Charlie walks past a sign that says videotape rentals, and I was very happy. And then Lee, who looks like Eddie Deason, starts transforming into Freddy Krueger, which is funny.
Oh, it would have been great.
Yeah.
But
Charlie still has the Playboy.
Of course he does.
And then he holds it up to get the transform back. But then they the critters lure her down an alley. Playmate bounty hunter. And they strip her to the bone. Just one arm.
Yep.
Which made me sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Should have kept. I like the design or whatever of Tim Curry and Playmate as the bounty hunters.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, they worked good, and they worked good with Charlie as their like little lapdog.
Yes,
their bounty and training.
They're green.
They were showing him the ropes. It was pretty cool. And then one just goes up and dies like a fucking rookie.
Yeah, but then Ugg just
fucking nuts.
He just quits. He's like,
it's like, I'm fucking sad, man. He like screams. He's like goes crazy, and then he's like done.
I hated that. But they needed the characters to do something on their own, so you had to get rid of the competent ones.
Yeah. The ones who are saving the day.
Yeah.
But I never felt like their relationship was that deep.
Who?
Ugg and Lee.
Yeah.
They never made it like, it's like, that was your partner. Yeah, I get it. You bounty hunted together, but were you more than that?
Damn aliens. And Charlie's like totally wanting to hit the.
Oh yeah, he was like
Playboy one.
When he turned her back into a playmate, he was like, "Oh, thank God."
I was like,
It's like that's
does everything change?
Well, yeah. Remember the outfit changed. Everything changed.
I meant the junk. Does the junk change?
Yeah, like she got a booty.
Mm-hmm.
So
You are a wise man.
thank you.
So they're hiding out in the church, and you hear the critters in the dark laughing, and I think that's amazing.
That's good stuff.
And then the guy that's acting as the lookout on the back of the church goes over to the bush and gets eaten.
Just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Very terrible lookout.
And then the little girl from before screams, and then a mad tricycle chase ensues. And Brad runs after her.
It's like, I could save her.
And then they're about to be eaten because he trips and she falls off.
Well, he has a bat, so he's running with a bat, like whacking him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he trips and falls. And then she falls. Then he jumps on top of her to protect her.
And he picks her up. And then Harv shows up.
That's where Harv shows up. I'm back.
Yeah. And he shoots them all off.
With his 2 6-shooters. They were 6-shooters, right? Or were they?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's like John Wayne-ing it up.
Yeah. Oh, it was odd.
Really disappointed they eat the other bounty hunter.
Yeah, I know. It was very disappointing.
And I'm disappointed that Tim Curry isn't in the movie anymore.
Yeah, like you said, they had to get rid of him because you can't have heroes.
Yeah.
You can't have it too easy for the heroes.
Yeah. Critters are in the woods eating dead animals. And it's great because they're like... It made me laugh.
It's funny.
And they are like... They start migrating. And they're making whooping noises.
Probably get ready to mate or something.
But there's like there's like 200 of them now, and I was like,
oh yeah, where did they come from?
Yeah.
That's probably odd.
So the church people start turning on Bradley, and Harv has to put them in line. And the bully, Wesley, and Charlie volunteer to do his plan of using the Polar Burger place to get them there to feed, to blow them up.
Nothing to do with cold.
Nothing to do with cold. And they cut
They're
to
probably thinking, let's just shove them in the freezer. And then the producers are like, no, we want something bigger.
Yeah, we need a critter ball.
Yeah.
And then I put mob supplies. Get your mob supplies, because they all just start grabbing like pitchforks and torches. So when they show the shot of the warehouse, it looked like forced perspective to me, but kind of badly done, because it doesn't look as deep as it should.
Oh, right.
Like the back wall's like right here, and it's like, it's on an angle. You probably should have put the camera like lower or something. But whatever. Do what you gotta do.
Cinematography is not the greatest in this movie.
Yeah. So they go to the burger place and they start dumping all of the burger patties and stuff on the floor with the door everywhere. They cut open the cheese, and I was like, that's a lot of cheese. And then they turn fans to blow the smell towards the critters.
They didn't need to do that. I'm sure the critters knew where their food source had moved to.
I don't know. Well, so half of them more than half are hiding out in the church.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And really, they don't need to eat the townspeople. They could just They're eating the cattle. They could just
eat anything.
They could just go into the forest and eat everything.
But that's not part of the script.
Yeah. So the critters rolling en masse is adorable to me. Just all the little fur balls rolling down the road. And then the people start putting explosives before the critters get there. And I was like, shouldn't you have put the bombs before you started dumping the food?
Yeah, you thought so, but no.
Yeah. And then my next note is, this is making me hungry.
Yeah.
But
not for hamburgers.
Oh no, I wanted hamburger. We had Big Mouth bites yesterday. Just little ones.
Yeah, just thinking about that processed food hurts. Ugh.
Isn't all food processed?
Mm.
That is a vegetable.
No, what I mean by is they add chemicals to that shit so they can keep it fresher. So because they don't kill the cow there, it's shipped from all over the country somewhere.
They don't?
I guess not. So they put all that chemical shit in there. They don't even do anything fresh in those restaurants anymore. Everything comes cut. All they do is heat it all up.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever did anything fresh.
No, they used to. It's just, but they're getting like, over the years, it's just been getting more and more and more now. They cook their steaks and that's about it. But even that's processed and chemicals added to it to preserve it, and it just kills my stomach. Can't do it.
More for me.
Yep.
No.
It's all you, man. Have at it.
When we go there, we get like a sampler of like 3 what do you call them? The pre-meal appetizer. It's like 3 small samples of appetizer, right. And then we get like a side of fries. Because if we eat like a whole meal, we're just
completely
apparently. Andrea reminded me that when we first started dating, we would go there and we would get like spinach artichoke dip and snack on that. And then she would get a hamburger and fries. I would get a hamburger and fries. And then we'd get a molten chocolate cake. And I'm like, how are we not dead?
Yeah. We're broke.
I was working.
That's what kills me right now. It's just we can't go out. Even taking the kid, like, it's just way too expensive.
Yeah, we've been trying to really cut back. Like every couple months, maybe we'll go. There's this Italian restaurant that I like. We'll go there and get something. But we've been cutting back a lot on that lately, anyway.
Yeah,
it's all expensive.
I think that's why the prices have raised on it, because
maybe
people are cutting back on it.
I don't know. I like. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. There's a couple of hamburger places that I like. I like Paquito Mas. They make real tacos, I guess, where it's just a little tortilla or whatever, and then it's basically steak in it and maybe some like
cheese.
No, not even cheese.
Oh,
I forget. It's mostly just steak, and you can add like salsas to it if you want. If I bring it home, I usually add cheese and some sour cream. They're so good. You only need like 2 of them, maybe. And it's like, they're so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come visit soon.
They don't have Paquito Mas out there?
Fuck no.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe. I don't go out and do stuff.
They're like, we're the original taco stand.
Yeah, no, there's a taco bus out here somewhere in Tampa.
I don't think you have one.
I think we got Tijuana Flats and some Marco's Tacos or
That sounds familiar.
Tacos.
Yeah, there is nothing in Orlando for Paquito Mas.
No.
I miss Tijuana Flats. I miss Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have that tradition here.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, once you left, or I left, that tradition stopped.
Yeah, it was nice. It was fun to go after work. It was fun to work at a normal time too.
Yes.
Now it's like, yeah, I work in the middle of the day till night, and it's like I don't have time to do anything.
It's the second shift, I believe.
Swing shift.
That's from mid morning to night or some shit. I got nothing.
Mine's like, yeah. So the mob starts following the critters, and I was like, there's going to be a wind shift, because he mentioned stay downwind. And then the wind shifts, and the critters turn around and start rolling after the mob. And then a giant critter goes, cheeseburgers, no bones, and they all turn back around. And then my next note is Cheeseburger Massacre.
Yeah.
Which actually might be the name of my new metal band. Oh, so they're feeding.
You're gonna get an electric ukulele?
Yeah. As soon as I learn how to play the regular one. I hate how popular ukuleles are now. Someone made a joke about it, about hipsters and, I don't know, natural foods and ukulele music. I've just always wanted to play it since like Joe versus the Volcano, and now it's popular, and I'm like, ugh, go to hell, all of you.
I've always been fascinated with mine. When my dad and Lisa went on their honeymoon, they went to Hawaii and they brought me back one, but it was a gift shop one, like plastic fishing line string.
Well, they have that. The one I have is like not super expensive, but not crap. It's like, I can't remember. I think it was like $70 or something like that. And they have like plastic strings on them. Not normal.
Oh no, this looks like it was like $10 in the airport gift shop.
The mark of true musical genius.
Yeah, I don't even think it actually has. I don't think it produces the right sound at all.
Well, you constantly have to tune it. Also, so the critters are feeding this whole movie, and I'm like, why aren't they getting big?
Except for that one.
Yes, but that one is Ugg, the bounty hunter.
Way to ruin it.
We're at that part. Cheeseburger Massacre, and Ugg is eating.
He starts changing, and that's when Brad's like, "Hey, look, that one's doing something. It's getting bigger."
Yes, that's what she said. And then they seal the door, and I put Big Bada Boom. Big Bada Boom. And everyone's happy, and I looked at the time, and I was like, they're happy, but we still have 13 minutes left. And there's been no giant critter ball. But Brad and Mallory from Family Ties are about to kiss, and a giant critter ball bursts through the door.
So the explosion melded them all together. Instead of blowing them up, it imploded them.
Did it?
I don't know.
Because when earlier in the town, there's like 4 or 5 of them that come together in the Hungry Heifer, and that's how they burst through the door. They break through it.
No, yeah, that's right.
Because the bounty hunter locked it. The mob flees, and the giant critter ball rolls over top of a guy and strips him to a skeleton.
Yeah, that was great.
And then it's rolling back to the church, I guess.
Yep, it all comes back to religion.
Okay. I think that's just where they hit out. And they're chasing the ball with the truck, and they ram it.
Ram it! Get in front of it! He's screaming because it's like ripping the door off.
Yeah. I thought he was trying to like hit it, and it just takes the door.
Yeah, he just rips it. Was he trying to get in still?
No, they're driving along next to it, and whatever. So they don't know what to do. They flip the truck, ramming the ball, and the ball goes off course and then comes right back around. And then Charlie is flying the spaceship, and he rams it.
I don't understand why he did that.
To kill him.
Yeah, that thing should have guns. Use the guns. Why blow it up?
Well, Charlie is until recently, he is a drunk.
2 years sober.
And he's a greenhorn bounty hunter.
Maybe they should let him fly the ship and show him how it works every once in a while.
Yeah. You would think.
Yeah.
And it is the 80s, so it's not like there's a whole lot of examples of bounty hunters in their ships.
That's true.
So everyone's sad, and Charlie's dead, and Ugg turns into Charlie. And I put, we're supposed to feel good about this.
Yeah, I was like, so now we look at you. Oh, hey, Charlie. Wait, that's not Charlie. He only has his face on it.
Your face is just going to make me sad. So then Brad is going to leave on a bus.
But wait, I've got more.
So Brad's going to leave on a bus, and Harv apparently is getting the hell out of town too.
Yeah, I'm gone.
In his Hawaiian shirt. And then...
Obviously going to Hawaii.
Yeah, he's wearing like a Magnum PI shirt. And then suddenly Charlie is alive, running down the street with a parachute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because spaceships have parachutes.
Yeah. Well, you know, for when you need to get out of
spaceships. When you need to eject in space. So Charlie and Ugg are staring at each other, and they start circling each other, and I was like, there goes the budget.
Gone.
Because it's not just a split screen, they're actually having to mat them over top of each other.
Yeah.
And then magically there's another spaceship, and Ugg leaves Charlie there.
Yeah. When he said he wouldn't.
Yeah. Tim Curry is an a-hole, apparently. And then Brad finally kisses Discount Mallory from Family Ties. Even though she's like 36 and he's like 16.
Hey.
And then Harv does not hold the office of sheriff in this town, but he throws Charlie the sheriff star, deigning him sheriff of this town from now on. And then the bus leaves and it ends.
Yep.
Good times.
Yeah.
Watch it for the Easter Bunny and the Critter Ball.
A few other moments. It's worth a watch.
The critters, because critters are fun.
Yeah. It's got good 80s moments in it.
Yes. Oh, and the Playmate Bounty Hunter. That should be a thing. That should be a staple of sci-fi now.
Oh, you would think. But they probably attempted it, and now it's trash.
Well, there's a Critters 3 and 4.
Yes, there is.
Did you ever see them?
I don't believe so. They came out. Critters 4 came out further than.
Like in the 90s?
Yeah, and by that point, it was like.
The joke was over.
Yeah, the joke was over for me. It was it was like the 90s horror movies made fun of the 80s horror movies to me.
Yeah. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio is in the third one in 1991.
Nice.
And 4.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you kept making Family Ties, let's say, Growing Pains. Growing Pains reference.
Yeah. Critters 4 was 92.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to watch them anyway.
Yeah, I got them.
I just want to see the. Oh, you're so cute. Share screen. He's so adorable.
Oh.
Look at him with his little red eyes. He's all slimy. Yeah.
Good stuff.
No doubt.
Good movie.
No, I want a little
critter.
I want a little critter for my 3-inch figures.
I'm sure someone's printed one.
Probably. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Bitchin'.
It's like not the reaction you expect him to have.
No, not at all.
You expect him to go, oh no, but then he's like, this is awesome.
Complete opposite of what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Didn't they make a cartoon about this? Where'd you go? Are you gone? He closed out the window. Hello, everybody.
It's okay. No one's talking anyway.
That was just fine.
You can tell I'm starting to get tired whenever I start closing the stream windows.
I looked back up and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
It's just me. I said, "Yeah, that's good," and then I was like, "I'm talking to myself."
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. So what else you got?
I had some stuff.
Yeah, you told me to remind you of something, and I was like, I just woke up. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, that was...
Let's check the messages.
I had already been up 4 hours.
And,
I don't remember too much what happened this morning.
So this afternoon, you were like, there's plenty of female villains that stay villains.
Oh, right. I don't remember where I was going with that, though.
There's Dr. Aphra being crappy.
Oh, yeah, I know. That pissed me off.
I haven't.
Such a good
character. Read them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with her 2 murder droids.
Yeah, I haven't read those yet.
And then, yeah, it was just good. And then, trash.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading that comic you sent.
The Sunbird one?
The mouth stone.
The mouth stone ones. I love those aliens. They're great.
Yeah. Well, it takes me a second to realize what the hell they're saying.
Oh, yeah, because it's just
magical mouthstone fairy or whatever. She will pay you money for your dead mouthstone. I hope I get a lot. You'll get market value.
Yeah. Good stuff.
He sent me a text that said, "Got some ideas to throw past you tonight. Don't let me forget."
Yeah, that was going to be the thing.
I forgot.
I don't think I forgot. I just don't think I remember exactly, and I'm not going to talk about something that I don't want to talking about.
That's the spirit.
I feel like I'm kind of getting loopy.
Yeah, me too. That's C-3PO with I-beams.
It's great.
Yeah. Other than that, Colossal, we already talked about.
Yeah, horrible.
I didn't like it.
Coming to America 2.
Did you watch it?
Not yet. I can't wait. It's going to be awful. I know. I'm not expecting much from it. I'm really not.
I don't know if it'll be awful or just meh.
Me and Lindsay just watched the first one not too long ago because I love the first one. I grew up watching the first one.
Me too.
Love that shit.
Yeah.
And it was meh when I watched it recently.
The first one?
Yeah.
First one still makes me laugh.
Oh man, I laughed my ass off, but it's
very simple.
It wasn't laughing my ass off the whole movie. I found there was longer periods of time between my laughter than what I remember.
Well, you've probably seen it too many times.
Awesome. But I mean, I laughed at all the right spots.
You like what?
All the right spots. It was just the boring part.
Sure. Boring parts are boring.
Yeah.
We watched it not that long ago. Andrea enjoyed it.
Good. Did she ever seen it?
Maybe like clips, but not the whole thing. I saw that crap like right after it came out on video. My cousin brought it or something, and I was like, I'm too young to be watching this, but let's continue.
I know. The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
It's one of the best.
Best ever.
You try to convince your wife that that's how every morning should start, though.
Yeah, will not work.
Doesn't happen.
No.
Oh well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it when it comes.
That's cool. I'm not watching it.
7 days. Oh, I guess 6 days till the kid's 3.
Oh yeah. I guess I should look for a present. Unless you want to give him one of yours. Because you have a box coming. I went to the comic shop today and I found the Keanu Reeves Berserker.
Oh, nice.
I have not read it yet. There's a lot of pages in it. I was surprised. Feels thick.
Good.
And I got Chiodo's The Mechanic. Because it looks bonkers. There's like a caveman and a dinosaur and a hot chick, and they're like all pulled into like a vortex and stuff.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. And then I got Gru.
Oh, Gru.
What's the name of this one? Just Gru. There was another one that was Gru, like Death and Taxes, but the spine was all broken on it.
Hate that.
Yeah. But I like Conan meeting Deadpool and him stomping him through the prison bars.
That was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah. And then I really liked him punching that woman in the face and her nose ring flying out.
Yeah, that was Callisto. The war. She underground. She fought Storm.
The mutant thing.
Yeah, the mutant that lived underground. The Morlocks.
Morlocks. Yes.
Morlock. Yeah. Yeah, that was Callisto.
She looks nothing like the 90s.
They've changed her up like 5 different times. She's gone through way dramatic changes.
Oh, that one? She had like an eye patch or something? Yeah.
Yeah, that was her. And then, yeah, but the Iceman thing, I mean, I like that he's shattering them, but that doesn't, like, Iceman can come back from, like, you can melt Iceman and he can, like, come back. He can be evaporated and he's still around.
That's fine. That's the one. that I was thinking of.
That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed her up. Like all the X-Men now can be killed and brought back to life.
Well, who can't?
So like some of them are like getting complete like body modifications. So if they come back again, they can be just back to normal.
Yeah. Well, good for them.
Pyro, every time he dies now, he gets his face tattooed with a black skull over his face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Iceman thing was just hilarious to me because just for all of the real world drama with that character for like the past 6 years.
Although it is the first time I've seen Iceman on comic book pages where he wasn't making out with somebody or talking about being gay.
Exactly. So,
and he was on like 3 pages though. So
you're absolutely correct. That was very impressive. So the fact that Conan shattered him with a hammer, I was like, yes. Suck on that.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was
Pop Culture Minefield. How you doing?
Oh, whoops! Spoiler. Sorry. If that was a spoiler.
Was it?
Savage Adventures.
If you jump in an hour and a half into a stream, I can't help you. You're on your own for spoilers.
Yeah.
You missed the entire recap of Critters 2. Now we're kind of winding down with nonsense.
Just random nonsense.
But it's great to see you. This is a good channel.
Yes.
But they're good guys. Gerry and Keith, I believe.
Nice.
I don't see Keith that often. I see Gerry a lot on streams and stuff. No, Sean deleted my comment. What was your comment? I'm not controlling anything. I can show you what I see, and what I see is not your comment.
What?
Anyway, so yeah, Conan, Savage Avengers. I still dig it, even though it's kind of all over the place, trying to mix in their large event with the symbiotes and the dragons.
Oh yeah.
But
because he did that. All right, he has the sword now.
The symbiote sword.
Yeah, the symbiote sword. One of the many symbiote swords that are out there. Because
the
Necro sword is, I guess, the symbiote sword. But then anybody can make a symbiote sword. No, I do not know what sleep was. I lost sleep 2 years ago when my kid was born.
YouTube must have deleted it because I don't control any of that. At least not right now.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was there.
Yeah, and I don't even see comments on the main channel thing. I'm not making sense. Anyway,
Hey, look.
I'm in California, so it's only 10:09. That's why we're awake. And this is like the only time of day that I can actually stream during the week. Unless I make a special I've explained this, unless I like lock my my wife in the room, and I can only do it for an hour at a time before she needs air. Yeah, Gerry, you should send me your website sometime because I want to look at all your stuff. He does like professional covers for games and posters and bands. Steve is my friend from high school.
Hello.
Best friend from high school. Savage Avengers.
Yep. Long. Yeah, Savage Avengers.
It's
Good
been
stuff.
like
20 odd years.
Oh god, it's been 20 years.
20 odd years now.
Oh, so 21?
22?
Yeah.
99?
books, movies, and comics. Yeah, he does it all. He's actually working on a comic that looks pretty good. I only saw a little bit of it. Nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice to see you or read your words.
I have no idea what you look like. Well, you should sub to their channel anyway.
I will. I need to get on this stuff more.
Dude, there's so many streams. I'm in a chat with like a bunch of other guys, and I'm like, I don't have time to keep up with all of you. Oh yeah, you want to jump on, Gerry? We don't really have any other topics going on.
No, we're just pulling stuff out of hats and stuff. I'm being attacked by fuzzy dust bunnies.
Let me go to what does that mean? Let me go to Twitter and DM you.
Dust, apparently.
Messages? Can I do that? No, maybe I have to go to. How does internet work?
We had to give the cat to Lindsay's mom.
Oh yeah, you got rid of it?
Yeah, the kid keeps terrorizing her.
Gerry, I'm going to.
Wait, trust.
I sent the link in the Pop Culture Minefield DMs on Twitter. So go for it. And now I'm just checking email. What did I miss out on? Oh, Critters. Yeah, Lorenzo's berating me for missing out on Critters 2 as a kid.
Yeah, I mean I figured you would have seen that as a kid.
I wasn't big on horror movies.
Oh man. I don't know why my mom let me rent whatever horror movies I wanted to back then, but she did. And never really had a problem. I remember one vampire kind of nightmare.
Woo.
But it started out as a movie.
Oh yeah?
Hello.
Can't hear us?
Nope.
Oh, you're not. He's messing with us because he's not muted. How's it going?
I decided to just play rock music and watch you guys.
Oh yeah. So you just see us mouthing words to like Aerosmith and stuff. And you're like, these guys sound great.
Yeah. We're such an awesome band. You think they'll ever make it?
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Planning next Friday's show.
Oh, yeah?
Our last one, it went over big. We had Mikey Sutton from Geekosity on to give us our own scoop, about Henry Cavill, and he's the scoop master general. I mean, people talk shit about him. I'm like, you don't fucking know what you're talking about. This guy wrote for Cinefantastique magazine. I've known him for years. I've known his work and became friends with him. And we're lucky that he has chosen Pop Culture Minefield as one of his bases to release info.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know why he picked it. He likes this because it's a black and white dude. He reminds him of Lethal Weapon.
No doubt.
Which I, of course, joke.
Oh, that's awesome.
That Keith is Riggs and I'm Raj.
Yeah, I caught I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I was working. I worked like a swing shift from like 1 in the afternoon till 10 at night. So I caught up with the live stream later. You guys were all at like 1.5 speed, so you were all talking super fast, but I still caught it.
I watch shows like that, my friends' shows, because I've got a limited amount of time during the day, so I put everybody at either 1.5 or 2.
Yeah.
Depending how fast they talk naturally. Like my buddy John at Entertainment Hacker, always I put him at about 1.5. But there's this one show I watch. It's got this old boy sounds like he's from Oklahoma. And he talks about old movies and TV shows. I love his videos. I play him at double speed, and it still comes out sounding normal.
Yeah. I catch up on live streams so much faster that way. And people do like 5-hour live streams, and I'm like, you people are out of your minds.
Well, yeah, because like my first live stream with Midnight's Edge, we did Midnight's Edge in the morning. Jesus, it went into 4.5 hours. And I'm like, I gotta pee. I'm almost 60.
Yeah.
I gotta go pee. So one of my buddies says, just turn off your mic and turn off your screen and just walk away. And I'm like, oh, you can do that? Oh, fuck it, I'll do that. And I'm good friends with the guys at Midnight's Edge. I love those guys. Tom's like one of my best buddies now. And cool. So I expect to have him on our new show on Fridays. You know, I know they can't always be there every Friday because they do Friday Night Tights. But we scheduled it to be before. Yeah. Because I don't want to try to even compete with my friends. So we're gonna start our show at 4 Central Time and go 2 hours. And if people need to go, they can fuck off and go.
Yeah, it's good. You should stream at this time. I'll be your only competition.
I really no, it's too late. We would never get anybody. How many you got watching now?
None.
There you go. That's why.
Usually over the week I'll get
usually just weird fuckers like us that are up, and artists in general are up late because our peak hours are 11 p.m. till 3 a.m.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I've always been that way. It's like that's why I have 4 divorces behind me. I like hit a point where a woman goes, "So when are you coming to bed?" And I'm like, "I'll have the divorce papers tomorrow." You got to go.
My wife does that now, but that's because I get home or I get done with work, and then I'm like, I'm just staying up because I did nothing but work all day.
Yeah, my wife is right over there gaming right now.
Oh, that's nice. Mine is right over there sleeping, so that's why I always have to talk lower.
I need to speak more quietly.
Yeah, I'm going for the NPR kind of.
And occasionally let out little shrieks, and just. I remember one night many years ago, one of my ex-wives woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. We were watching From the Earth to the Moon, the TV series. And she woke up. It was like a noise on the show woke her up is what happened. She woke up. What's going on? What's going on? I said, nothing, honey. The devils are here to collect your soul. Go back to sleep. She's like, oh, okay. She went back to sleep. And people are like, why do you say fucked up things to your friends and girlfriends and stuff? I'm like, I don't know.
Life interesting.
It's funny to me.
Yeah.
My wife is like, you talk or you joke all the time, and I'm like, I'm trying to make your life as interesting as I want mine to be.
Hey, Steve, I like the background there. What's the toys? I see Batman. I see the Flash.
The Justice League characters.
Deadpool. Okay, yeah.
It's the DC Spin Masters series right now.
That's cool. I'm going to enlarge it so I can see it even better.
Yeah, if you can.
Boop.
Do you want to
work on my camera?
Oh, it looks like you got a little tiny TARDIS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said TARDIS. I meant to say slow time machine. I came up with that joke on my own. I thought it was funny.
You got the bat signal, too. That's cool.
Yes, you do. And it looks like a seat on top there.
Doom's throne with an evil Batman.
Evil Batman. Is there any other kind of Batman?
Well,
I mean, he's a good guy, but he's a little evil.
Definitely evil.
Anybody who basically has a general attitude that I want criminals afraid of me, and if the general population is afraid of me, I'm okay with that.
I always like the idea of Batman as being more like a cryptid of Gotham. Like nobody's quite sure what he looks like, or kind of like,
kind of a Bigfoot. Yeah. I think that would be funny. I think they did something like that at one point, where they
mentioned it in like the '89 movie. Like Knox is trying to get a picture of him and stuff.
Yeah. Well, back then in the comics, he was still like he didn't work with the cops. Yeah, But Commissioner Gordon was like the only one that truly knew that he existed. But people still didn't know if he was real or not.
Who was the worst Commissioner Gordon? I have a distinct opinion on this.
It's either the 60s. Well, the 66 one
I
is
liked him.
fun, but he doesn't look like him. And then the one from the 89 movies,
Pat Hingle.
I don't really care for him.
He is just
a
a crappy, just waste. As the commission, just complete waste.
Was he the one in all 4 of those movies?
Yeah.
That was probably the worst one.
I remember I was, because I'm friends with Bruce Campbell, and I met Josh Becker through Bruce, and he's one of my best friends, and he's one of the writers from Xena and Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
And so I threw my very first film festival back in '97 when I was at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, and I asked them, and they both came to show the film Running Time, which I did the artwork for. It's the first movie I ever worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, we'll come. And I'm like, all right. I guess this is happening. I'm backing away now. The deal's done. So they show up, and I tell this kid that works at the local video store, he apparently hates my guts today. But it's for political reasons rather than for personal reasons.
Oh.
And I was like, I told him, I said, I need you to capture all the footage, keep the video going, showing us picking up at the airport, pick up moments throughout the drive if we stop for food, shit like that. And he turns around and asks Bruce, is it okay if I video record you? And Bruce goes, no. So he didn't capture any video footage at the airport. And when I found out about this, I said, why the fuck would you not do that? And he says, Bruce told me no. And I said, I'm your boss. he's here as a guest. Mm-hmm. He's fucking with you. And he proceeded to fuck with this guy the entire trip.
That's good.
And the kid's like, because I told him, I said, don't ask Bruce dumb questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess he doesn't understand what a dumb question is. The first question he asked Bruce is a dumb question in the car. And he's like, well, I heard that in the movie, and he starts talking about that Western that Sam Raimi did, the Quick and the Dead. I hear there's this whole scene where you fight Pat Hingle. It's like, Bruce in the back seat. Sorry, that is not what happened at all. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Or whoever told you that. They're full of shit. That didn't happen. There's not 1 second of footage of that. What happened? And he proceeds to tell the story, which is Pat Hingle was pissing and moaning because he felt his character didn't protect his daughter by whoring her out. Because that's what the character did. His daughter was a whore in his fucking saloon. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. It makes me look bad. So Sam got sick and tired of Pat Hingle complaining. So he set up a fake scene, a shimp scene, where Bruce would take on this other person, and Pat Hingle would save the day, defending his daughter, and taking out Bruce Campbell. It was all fake. There was no film in the can, nothing. It was all just staged. And it's not the first time he's done that. Sam's done that shit all the way back to the first Evil Dead. Mm-hmm. Some of the local people were like, well, I want to be in a movie. Put us in the movie. Finally, he got sick of them asking. So he set up this whole scene with no film in the camera and had them act it out. And you happy? All right, fuck off now. Sam's kind of a dick like that, But they all are kind of dickish.
It's a smart way of dealing with it.
Well, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna stop fucking fighting this guy and just make him think we're doing this. Mm-hmm. And I think it's smart. I think it's clever. But they're all dicks, all of them. You hear so many stories relayed to me from Josh over the years. Plus, Bruce is Josh refers to me as one of the few people who's ever zinged him in person. And I did it twice in one dinner.
Nice.
First time was over a Newsweek article. I'm pretty sure it was Newsweek. It was talking about the millions of American Indians killed in the Plains Wars. And I'm like, there was never millions of Indians during that period, much less killed. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, and Bruce just hears something keys it, because he was talking to my wife and somebody else at the table. We're at a Chinese restaurant in Urbana, Illinois. And he keys in on something. He leans over and he goes, "Oh, hey, did you guys read that article about millions of Native Americans that were killed in the Plains Wars?" And without missing a beat, I turned to him and said, "Shh, Bruce, adults talking here." And I went back to talking. And he shot me a look. And then later he proclaimed, this was before his big move to Ashland, Oregon, that he was leaving Hollywood to move to Oregon. And, and I jabbed him and said, "Yeah, you need a lot more room up there there's a lot more room up there for your ego to grow."
Yeah.
Josh still laughs about some of those today that I've done. Because I don't talk about it very much. And Susan Layton, close friend of my journalist, knows the story. But I sent an email that had some not very nice things in it. So I wasn't sure if Bruce was still friendly with me after I sent the email. I was criticizing him over something personal that happened with a mutual friend. And I shouldn't have done it. Because later I found out through that friend, oh no, he completely was helping me. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, shit. Then was he helping you by this date? And he goes, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, God damn it. I sent that meal after that date. I felt like such an asshole. So, I never sent a response going, we okay? I found out because during the interview, she asked Bruce about me, and he was real nice when he talked about me. Went, oh, good. Then he forgave me.
No doubt. Yeah, I saw that he had moved to Oregon. There was Michael Rosenbaum has a podcast or whatever, and he was interviewing Bruce, and he's like, "You need to move up here and ride an electric bike." And I was like, "What?"
It's beautiful up there. I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy fucking lefties up there, but good God, that place is gorgeous. And I got to tell you, Josh lived on Bruce's property for a while. He had a little, I don't know what to call it, a mobile home camper type thing. He doesn't require a lot, and he liked living there. And Bruce liked him living there because he always had an abundance of a certain thing that Bruce liked. I'm not going to say what it is. And because Josh, anytime I talk to Josh in the middle of a phone call, I'll hear that sound.
Oh, you just watched Steve's.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. That film was wrong. It was fucking awesome. And I'm like, dude, you don't even try to hide that you're getting high while talking to me.
He just watch Steve's Little Square every once in a while, and you'll see him just like.
Oh, I'm making him laugh.
No, he'll be smoking it up.
I got my little stuff.
Yeah, my daughter fucking annoys me. God, I love her so much. She calls me. She does video calls, and then she lights up and I'm like, I don't want to see it. Stop it. I know you're an adult, but you're my little girl. You need to stop doing that when you're talking to me. She starts laughing. Oh, Dad. No, don't dad me.
I had a similar moment on one of our first live streams. I was eating a cookie and I dropped part of it on the floor, and then I picked it up and kind of went like.
It's that 5-second rule. Almost became the 10-second rule. I remember once it was almost 30.
30 minutes.
Sometimes the floor is so dirty, it might as well be the 2-second rule. Well, I joked one time. I dropped something on the floor, picked it up, and ate it. And a buddy of mine that I was living with was like, that is definitely past the 3-second rule. And I went, yeah, but I only saw it for 2 seconds before I grabbed it.
Oh,
that counts.
And then he's like, he got me with his legal mumbo jumbo.
Man, oh man. So what's the subject that you were doing tonight that you got on? Because you're almost hitting 2 hours right now.
Yeah,
Critter 2.
I never watched Critters.
What was it? Oh, Critters 2. It was a good film. I liked Critters 2. It was the last one I liked. I'm friends with the Chiodos, and Clowns from Outer Space, Critters, and Critters 2 is it for me. And plus, they worked on one of the best marionette films ever made. Come on. Team America. There you go.
Marionettes scare me.
I get it when dolls are clowns, but marionettes. Why?
I don't know. There's just something about them that's just not right.
Yeah, the thing that gets me is those fucking creepy porcelain dolls my grandmother used to get. They were Harlequin dolls with the painted doll faces that were like
suck your soul.
Fuck that. And when she found out I didn't like him as a kid, because we didn't like each other, she would put more in my room. And I was like, why are there more? What are they making more?
They're splitting. It's mitosis.
Are they mating? I was really freaked out by that shit. She and I were at war. When she died, I was like, yay, I win.
I took a hammer to all those dolls.
Well, we all referred to her as she's my maternal grandmother. We all referred to her as the Wicked Witch of the West. She was in Phoenix. My other grandma was like amazing. She was, she had her own cherry trees and she'd get all us kids. I had 6 siblings, and we'd all get out there on little step ladders and pick cherries from the cherry orchard.
Yeah, slave labor.
And she would we got fed really well. We would have everything: cherry jam, cherry glazed, cherry pies. I think our favorite was the cherry pie. She would make cobblers with them too. Oh my God, my grandmother, nobody cooked like my grandma. And man, just so many cherries. So we'd be out in the back, just picking them and eating them. Free food. So people go, you grew up poor. I'm like, I was still fed.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about growing up poor is all the food makes you fat.
Well, yeah. Now my grandmother, she was a young adult during the Depression. So when we were older, she still had all those skills of making food when you don't have much food. And so I caught her one time, I think I was 11 or 12. And I was sitting at the table. My dad took us out to KFC to eat. And I looked over and she kept putting something. She had a handkerchief in her hand. And she kept sliding something into it. And I'm like, what the hell is she sliding into that little thing? I find out later that she would take some of the skin. The cooked skin from KFC, and then she take it home and make a big fucking soup with it with lots of vegetables. And I'm like, holy crap, and big old dumplings. She made those awesome ball dumplings that were just amazing. And we don't have that skill anymore. I mean, as a society, we're fucked in a lot of ways. We really are. It's like, shit really, if the grid went down, it's like, what's the first thing we fucking do today?
Eat each other.
Yeah, we attack each other and fight over the food in the grocery store. People have runs on toilet paper.
I'm getting a bow and arrow and I'm cutting my food.
I'm skipping that grocery store step and just going straight for the neighbors.
Well, you don't understand. I can take my neighbors. But yeah, I grew up fishing, hunting, all that shit. Exactly. I hate it, but I know how to do it because it's gross. My dad was like, "It's like, man, you're such a good fisherman, and you do nothing but piss and moan about it." I said, "Because it's gross, and I hate it on my hands." And I'd walk around. If either of you have ever fished, I constantly had swollen knuckles right in here from the barbs on fish fins sticking me. And then I remember my dad tried to teach me to fly fish. That lasted one fucking outing. I stuck him in the fucking ear. I was like, whip. And I turned and it was like right there, all the way through his ear, blood's pouring out. Like, I really didn't stop whipping it. And I was like, ah!
That's good.
My dad was like, damn it, you got natural skills, but you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, thank God for that. My daughter loves that shit, though. She loves going out. She loves being out in the fishing and shit. She fucking loves it. And I'm like, oh, God. Go with your uncle. I fucking hate it. I'll only do it if I have to. And I do know how to do it.
It can be fun, but
I think my dad lost it when I had to gut and skin a deer for the first time. And I cried like a little bitch the whole time. I had to say, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I had that similar experience with fishing where my uncle's like, take it down there and crack it on the head. And I was like, what now?
Look, man, I'm okay with like fishing, but I'm not gonna fucking brutalize the fish.
I'm just gonna lodge a hook into its mouth and yank it from its natural environment.
And I like bow fishing a lot. I don't know if you've ever done that, Steve. It's fucking awesome. I had a classic Shakespeare recurve.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was like I think it was 55 pound. I'm not sure, but it had some good weight to it. I killed a deer with it once.
Oh wow!
And I stuck it.
Beat it in the head.
Yeah, I beat it. No, I joked with someone, but it's true. I stuck it between the shoulder blade and its neck, and it locked its legs up, and it fell forward.
Wow.
But it kept kicking, and I pulled a 22 out and shot it in the head, which is illegal. But I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near this fucking thing, and I'm not just going to shoot a whole bunch of broadheads into it until it stops moving.
It's just like a porcupine.
Yeah, it's just fucking.
Oh, the meat would be ruined.
Yeah, ruined, Brian, ruined. And so, so we I killed that deer and it destroyed there's another funny part of this. We're on private property, and I was there with my buddy Alan Burrell, and we had permission to shoot on this property, and we went out hunting, couldn't find anything. Came back to the camp, and the deer was in our fucking camp. And I just stopped like that, and my buddy Alan turns and he's like looking down for his in his sheath for an arrow, and I've already got one out, and I just like drew back, and right when I drew back, it like looked up and went, oh shit, there's people. And went going, and when it was going, it went over the top of a downed pine tree. It left a little, and that's when I shot it, and I caught it under the shoulder blade as the leg was going forward, and it came out the neck and locked it. And boy, I was just like, oh my god, I did it, but it wasn't dead. And Alan's a good old boy. He's got an accent like this. He goes, shit, I ain't getting anywhere near that thing. That thing's still kicking. And I'm like, well, what do we do? And he goes, well, you can just put a bunch of arrows in it till it stops. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Because we were like 16. And I was like, I can't do that. That sounds psychotic.
That sounds cruel.
So he says, wait a minute. Let me go back to the truck. And he goes back to the truck, and he got his little 12-shot 22 revolver. And I went up and shot it. I was about 4 feet away from it because I didn't want to get hooved or get hit with those antlers. Because it was a 6-point buck. Yes, they will. And so I was like real careful how I approached it and shot him right in the head and ended it quickly. And then I gutted it and cried.
You're like, that's enough life for me. I'm going home.
I've done enough killing for the day.
I haven't killed a deer, but I've gutted a deer.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's like when you do that first cut, man.
It's something. I had to slice its neck to get it dead. Yeah, it was still moving.
You got to guarantee you've killed it, and then you got to do the slit up the gut.
Grab the esophagus and just rip it all out.
That's what you do. It's exactly what you do.
Stomach, intestines, liver, just all like in there. And you're like,
and boy, if you squeeze, there's a smell.
Oh God! Stay away from that big brown sack.
We did make I gave the heart to my dad.
Okay.
And he made a hell of a stew with that, because I was told that you should keep it because you can use it for certain things, but you don't want to try to eat it because that's some tough ass meat, a deer heart. But my dad cut it up into these little tiny pieces and made a big stew with it. It was really good. And one of our director of our show, Pop Culture Minefield, Charlie, his mama, I loved his. She was a good old gal, man, like a gal, tough old broad. One where you say broad and you fucking know she was like, yeah, that's what I am, motherfucker. And woman never wore a lick of makeup the whole time I ever knew her. She was just this bad old lady, just awesome. And she's like, oh, Gerry, come on, sit down for dinner. Got some squirrel stew. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah. Sat down, fucking spitting buckshot out about every other bite. And I'm like, so how many times was this one single squirrel shot? That's a lot of buckshot for one little squirrel.
That's all that's left is buckshot.
Oh my God, that was a fun night. Like, holy shit. It's like every other bite, a piece of buckshot. I'm like, I better not try chewing. Break a tooth.
This squirrel's more buckshot than squirrel now.
Well, I got to tell you, you grow up in that part of Virginia, because I grew up in the city of Fredericksburg, but I have a lot of fucking redneck friends from Virginia. And all of them talk like this. Hey, boy, what you doing? And yet I walked away with no accent whatsoever. I'm accent neutral.
My wife is from Martinsville, Virginia, and she does not have an accent.
Martinsville, I need to look it up.
It's closer to North Carolina. It's like almost at the border, I think.
And Gerry, where are you at now? Right now?
I am in the state of Missouri.
Jesus, I'm so sorry.
So is that California?
No, Missouri. That's what we refer to it as here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where. Wow, that's way over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's going towards like Roanoke and Blacksburg.
Mm-hmm.
Our producer on the show, Jim, he graduated from UVA in Blacksburg. I visited him and got drunk there a few times.
It's always good to do.
Yeah, we had a competition because I was a fake student at William and Mary, and meaning I wasn't really a student. I lived in the dorm.
Nice.
Guy didn't show up, and buddy of mine says, "Move in with me." I went, "All right." I got nothing better to do. My dad kicked me out. Sure, I'll stay. So I stayed there in the dormitory, and I'm even in the yearbook from that year, 1983. It was 82 when I was there, but it was 83. I'm in the school yearbook, and I remember Zoe White is a friend of mine from that college. That's who I named my daughter after. She told me, "Oh my God, Gerry, you won't believe this. You're in the yearbook." Yeah, she's English. She wasn't from Virginia and had that weird accent. It's like, I've never heard that accent in Virginia before. She's from London.
Part way in the corner.
Yeah, way in the corner. And that's called Norfolk. Most people call it Norfolk, but if you're from Virginia, it's Norfolk. We call it Norfolk, Virginia. And I spent a lot of drunk nights in that fucking area. I remember seeing what was that band? Something in the Range that was popular in the 90s. He was made famous because he wrote a song for Huey Lewis and the Nudes. And Nudes. But he wrote the song Jacob's Ladder for Huey Lewis. And the Range was playing in a local pub. And I'm like, these guys are pretty good. I wonder if they'll make it. Yeah, they made it.
A little bit.
None of my bands made it. Well, actually, one of my bandmates made it. He's pretty popular.
Maybe you've heard of him, Mick Jagger.
Yeah, he's been in a few bands. But no, we were in. I was in a band, several bands. I was in a punk band called the Smelly Pubes, and later I was in this band, new wave band that did so many Cure covers. I joked one day, why don't we just call ourselves the Symptoms? And the lead singer was like, yeah, I like it. I went, it's a fucking joke. I meant it as it, and that was our name. So we went by the Symptoms. And we had a really good, we were a good band. But then, like, one night he dropped acid during the show and I punched him in the face.
Jesus.
And I got really mad because you don't get drunk and you don't get high during gigs. It's a rule.
No, yeah.
And he like says, oh, it's a private party. I thought it would be okay. And when I punched him, you know, because I was in rock bands, punk bands, you fucking fist fights were normal. You know, you look back in the history of the Who, you know, how many rolling fucking brawls they had. You know, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. I fucking punched this guy and he started crying. And I'm standing over him like, I feel like I just hit a child in the face.
Nice.
And we broke up over it. We broke up over it.
You were a Cure cover band. I don't expect anything.
It annoyed me that we did so many Cure songs because I didn't like the Cure back then. But now I like them. It's like,
they have to grow weird.
Yeah, it's what happens. Like there are these bands I couldn't stand in the 80s. I still can't stand hair bands. I absolutely hate like the hair bands from the 80s.
Like Van Halen?
I like, well, Van Halen's different. Van Halen, they were just different. I like Van Halen. I like AC/DC, but I can't stand Def Leppard. Really was difficult for me. They had one good album I liked, was Pyromania, and the rest of the time, you know, like when I was in the army, you'd see us. We're all like preparing for shit. You know, like all the guys are like got their, you know, what do they call those? The famous players from the 80s, Walkman. Had their Walkmans, the headsets on, and like you could hear it coming out, you know, you this heavy rock death metal. And then you scroll over to the combat medic that's the leader of the team, me, and I'm listening to Peter Gabriel. In your eyes. And people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you listen to that shit? And I said, you guys are all stressed out. Look at me. I'm always fucking calm. I'm always in a state of zen, which is why I'm in charge of you fuckers, because I don't lose my fucking cool. And what helps me is listening to very calming music. But seriously, it was very funny, the conflict of sounds. And then like on me, some Peter Gabriel or Phil Collins song would be playing. It's like,
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. Like when I'm in the thick of things and chaos is reigning, I put on Jimmy Buffett. Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, music really, I tell people, if you want to understand somebody, listen to what they listen to and get to know their playlist. And people are just shocked when they hear my playlist. They're like, dude, you're so mellow. And it's like, what the fuck? And Jimmy Buffett's one of those guys. I've always liked Jimmy Buffett.
So has Steve, and it's always perplexed me.
What's your playlist? What's your playlist, Sean?
I couldn't accurately tell you because it's like a mix of lots of different genres and then commercials and then like movie trailers and B movies.
You're a weird motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're saying get to know someone's playlist, and I'm like, good luck.
Hey, I like soundtracks too. I mean, I have like one playlist that is nothing but like classic scores from movies.
Oh yeah,
I listen. I love Wagner. I love Karl Orff. Oh fuck, I love Karl Orff. With the entire opera from Carmina Burana. Yeah, it's amazing. But
I have one playlist that's just called Midnight Movie Madness, and it's just B-movie soundtracks from like the 50s and 60s and movie trailers from the 40s and stuff like that. And then I have one playlist called Normal, which is just like a mix of like several different decades of popular stuff. And then just classical and soundtracks.
Can find stuff. I'm looking it up right now. I have a playlist. I listen to a lot of 80s music. And it's like, don't get me wrong, because I'm a big fan of the 70s too. And of course, as a child growing up, being born in the 60s, I love a lot of the 60s music that my mom and dad used to listen to. But for me, like when I compose like music, somebody noticed I have a lot of 1 minute long intros to the music I write.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what's up with that? And I said, I grew up with 70s music, and 70s music had almost all the big hits had 1 minute long intros, Southern rock in particular. And I love that whole 1 minute long intro. They get cut when they get released as a single. But if you go to the albums, you'll find like these 1 minute long intros. And I think they're great because they begin to build the theme of the song for you. And,
yeah, I missed that. I don't hear that anymore.
Yeah, you don't. And I'll show you an example. Here we go.
I can't share audio if that's what you're going for.
Oh, you don't know how to do that?
I just refuse to pay the $25 a month for StreamYards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Because I was going to play something. I did something because I worked for IDW before I was known as a comic book guy. I worked for one of the top comic publishers for like 3 years before they found out I was an artist.
What were you doing?
I was the director of their animated trailers for
nice.
Their comic titles, as well as all of their marketing videos that they showed at conventions and trade shows. And Ted Adams and Chris Ryle both knew me by name, and it was really funny. A friend of mine would go to like New York convention. Hey, Gerry said to say hi, and they go, "Oh, tell him hi back." And he came back. And he goes, "They really know who the fuck you are." I'm like, "I told you they did. Shut up." I was a workhorse for IDW before I became a comic artist, and they wanted me to do the trailer for All Hail Megatron. You know, the Transformers. And I was asked, can you recreate the theme song in a way that it's obviously a play on the theme song, but we don't have to pay the $10,000 fee for the license? Yeah. And I'm like, it's a Transformer comic book. Why can't you? It's a different division. I went, oh, same company, different division.
So I worked with Disney Interactive. Sorry, I'll get back to it real quick.
No. Go ahead.
I was a temporary hire for Disney Interactive to do game testing on Disney Infinity, and they were doing the Star Wars stuff. And I wrote a bug saying you have prequel soundtrack music playing during the original trilogy, and they told me they didn't have the rights to the original trilogy music. And I was like, how do you not have the rights to it? But I guess they like charge them fees to like license certain things.
Each division has their licensing, and they're very specific. And Hasbro has that problem. And so I did all these trailers for them, which included doing the Buffy before they lost the rights to it, because Dark Horse ended up taking over the rights. But IDW had the rights to Angel. And I did that was like the last trailer I did was for Angel.
So was it trailers for the comic books?
Yeah. They were just artwork that was animated. I did layered animation, and I composed the music, and sometimes I'd hire a friend of mine to do narration for it.
Where would I find these if I look? We'll find them on YouTube somewhere?
Well, you can find them on my channel. Here, I'll just, if you can't share the audio, it's okay. You can at least show my channel. Share. There it is.
Yeah, drop it in the...
There you go. And I can also share it in the private chat so you can actually listen to some of my garbage. I write good music. I took on the name Cohen's Ghost because I'm very private. And I told somebody one time, I'm like going, yeah, dude, now, even though you can't do audio, I'm curious if you can get audio.
I'm not sure how it would work.
We'll find out in a second if it works because I'm sharing audio. I'm trying to find. Jesus, some of these songs. Oh, here's one I did with a guy. Let's see if it plays for you. Can you hear that at all?
Yeah.
And this was back in 2003 after the Columbia disaster. I wrote this song within 24 hours of the disaster with a buddy of mine.
Can you hear it, Steve?
Yeah.
Breaking down silence, switches now at night. I can't see the darkness, blinded by this light. One spark starts another, clashing wails and cries. Madness for an instant, then it really flies. I try to message home. Do you receive me? I try to message home. Do you receive me? I try to message home. Do you receive me? No one sees the tragedy, no one could expect. One moment we were all right, the heat erupted next. Over in an instant, burning urgent flame. We were thrown into history while you were looked to blame. I tried to message home. Do you receive me? And I tried to message home. Do you receive me?
All right,
That's good stuff.
thanks. But like the trailers, see if I can find one of the trailers. Also on Xbox Live, I go by the name Cohen's Ghost too. And so like one night I was playing on this game and I slaughtered like a bunch of these people, and the guy on my team goes, "Hey man, are you named after the band?" I'm like, "I am the band." Yes. I'm like, "That is so weird." And he's like, I have like your CD. And I'm like, you're fucking with me, right? And he goes, "No." Sent me a picture and I'm like, "Holy shit, you actually own one of my CDs." That's awesome.
That's cool.
But here's one, Dead She Said, for this is how I met Steve Niles, was doing this video.
I woke up as stiff as a church door and my body was racked with pain. I figured it was just the whiskey's revenge on me until I noticed the bullet hole in my gut and the pool of blood I'd been sleeping in. Someone had shot me. By all rights, I should be dead. But I've got more important things to do than roll over and die. I've got to figure out who killed me.
That's awesome.
That's what I did for a living for a while. But
that's cool. I played as a kid. I played trumpet in middle school for 4 years, and then I took piano for a year. So I've I've always wanted to get back into music, and I just got a MIDI keyboard recently to try and make stuff for YouTube videos and stuff. And I was doing this Flash Gordon review for Zeitgeist, and quite accidentally, I found a setting on it that ended up sounding exactly like the synthesizer from the movie. So, like, I have a clip of Ming walking into the throne room or whatever, and then I cut to the music that I was doing with the synthesizer, and I was like, oh wow, that
Oh,
sounds
that's
really
cool.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to show you the Transformers trailer and how I pulled off the theme.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. I love this series. This series was great.
Audio's messed up for some reason. That's weird.
Glitching.
I always liked doing 80s sounding music.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And so after all these years of working as the director of their internal videos and trailers, Tom Waltz, senior writer for IDW, walks in one day and he says, you know, he's a better artist than he is at even doing those, right? And Ted Adams started like laughing, thinking that Tom was fucking with him. And he goes, no, let me show you. And he went in a room and he had already printed my portfolio out.
Oh,
He told me he was going to do this. And he goes in there, shows it to him and says, there you go. And they're like, are you serious? He did this? And they're like, yeah, he's a really good artist. And I haven't done another trailer for him. All I've done is artwork and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Although I haven't done anything for him lately. I just kind of stopped working for him because it had some hinky people working there, and I didn't like some of them.
Mm.
I love a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. I have good friends at IDW, but there's some people that I didn't like their agendas.
Yeah, well, the comic book industry is full of agendas now.
Yeah, and it's like, look, man, I just want to tell a good story. My personal politics shouldn't play a part in telling a good story.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Your politics shouldn't come into the effect whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's why, because like as much as I love John Wayne, I always felt that his disdain towards movies like High Noon, he should have looked at the art rather than the agenda that he saw. And I agreed, look, those were commies that wrote those. But the fact is, it's a fucking good story, High Noon. And anybody can, because I've run into that with people that you think are going to be your fucking backup, and then you're like, oh, I'm alone.
Yeah.
Well, fuck a diddle. So,
Fuck. Do it.
yep. But I'm a big John Wayne fan. I love his fucking movies. I hate that. What is it? Turner Movie Classic now is doing this thing of putting them in a special group that explains the issues that are problematic in those. Like The Searchers is one of the greatest westerns ever fucking made, and it's in that group because people might be offended by the fact that John Wayne's character's a racist. It's like, yeah, but that's part of his story arc.
Yeah. And people don't understand this shit anymore.
I'm so sick of people being overly sensitive. Freaking Netflix. You know how you would usually see like TV-14 for violence or whatever. They put fucking fear as a rating, and I'm like, what pansy are you?
Society has lost its fucking mind, and it's not all of society. It's that very small, loud, obnoxious twins.
Exactly. And unfortunately, people think it's everybody else too.
I mixed the word twat and cunt together, and I made one word. It's called twunt.
That's good.
Because Facebook and Twitter don't know how to deal with it because it's not a real word. But it's obvious what I mean when I say it.
Right.
I called a guy the other day a twunt on Twitter just yesterday. It was yesterday. I'm like, oh, you're one of those twunts. Okay.
That's good. I might use that.
Yeah, it was in that thread that introduced apparently Geode is a real character on Twitter now, and I fucking love him. He's so fucking funny.
Did
He's
you
called
see it,
the real
Steve?
Geode.
The stuff you sent.
The real Geode followed me, and I was
like, I was like one of the first people to interact with him, and I asked him questions that cracked him up, and he followed me right after I asked him. I asked him, I said, when I was a kid, I used to collect rocks. Oh my God, was I molesting them? Then I said, how do you sex a rock?
Mm. Oh, someone asked a question this morning, and I was like, well, you have to wonder, what is the planet that they come from made out of? Are they just bigger versions of themselves? And
It's like,
are earthquakes just them pounding together to procreate?
well, I made fun of like when they come to a stop in the animation, they're like asteroids right outside. You know, I would, if I did a voiceover, I would have done one right there. Oh, look, it's some of your cousins from outer space. You know, just it's so stupid.
It's
And
so
calling their
stupid.
ship the vessel.
Yeah.
It's like
Here.
every ship is a vessel.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how is that?
Here, Steve, I clipped this from Wikipedia.
That to me. Or I looked it up. And yeah, it's
his true name can only be pronounced by those without a mouth. And I was like, how does
Oh
writing
my
work?
fucking God. How do you pronounce anything without a mouth?
Exactly.
I can pronounce stuff with my butt.
And what?
Does that count?
Well, I came up with a character I called Fika,
Yeah.
who is a sentient Bantapudu.
I saw that.
I'm like, that is more entertaining than your fucking rock.
It sounds like they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like
they're
have
fucking
nothing
so
left.
stupid. They're just stupid people.
Well, see, like, I don't really want to research it more, but like, they're like, it's a creature that has a rock-like appearance, and I was like, so are there limbs or are there not limbs?
So
And then
a weeping
no, that's way too clever. I'll see if I can find the picture from the video.
One guy said that one of the person going by Gina Carano something. It was cracking me up too. Stamos, was that it? I can't remember. Anyway, they got engaged today, her and Geode, and this guy says, I suppose your ring has a really big rock in it. And I went, dude, that's so specious.
Oh my God. There's so many.
I like saying fucked up shit to people.
There's so many people doing memes about this now, and they all crack me up.
About what?
Geode, the Star Wars.
I'm out of loop. I haven't seen
that
much
one. That one's
oh my
good.
God. Is that its butt or boobs?
I think it's boobs.
It's like old grandma boobs.
Let me see if I can find. This is Steve. This is like a fan art rendering, and it looks better than the actual thing from the video. Yeah, they do like High Republic animations, and they all look like garbage. But you see it on your screen. Okay. I'll try to find the one from the video. They
hire the lamest fucking artists. They really do.
They do.
The artwork is so garbage.
Did you see? I did a High Republic character design video, and I just do like crappy ones, and I'm like, you can tell they put no thought into these characters. Oh, but this is from the video, and somebody made it into a tombstone. There you go, Steve.
No, I saw that. Yeah. I think John from eHacker posted that last night. It cracked me up.
But like even this art, the rock looked like it was photoshopped into me. It didn't look good. Oh, that was the thing. The video that they posted got ratioed so hard that they took it down.
Yeah, it's like you know you're doing something popular when Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook takes your shit down.
No.
Look at this shit.
A future character?
What's that?
A future character?
What, Geode?
Geode character?
This is all High Republic crap.
Yeah, I just skimmed through issue 3 and I didn't see it in there.
Oh, it's in a book. It's in one of the new books.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it totally doesn't even look like it belongs, even in the video that it's in.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the video that they...
Oh, wow. that looks like a tombstone. I thought someone was like, I didn't
Screwing
know.
around. No,
It's
it
just
was.
so stupid. It is so stupid.
Yeah.
And the funny part is this is for kids, and kids look at it and go, "That's stupid."
Are they trying to bring back My Pet Rock or something?
Well,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
Tom and Rob were talking about on Midnight's Edge, and it cracked me up. It's like, at least when they did, My Pet Rock, they put eyes on it, and then later, they did the Pet Punk Rock. It had a mohawk.
Yeah, that's what I think of with Geo. Geo, dude.
It's awful.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Clay Aiken said the fastest growing career field in America is victimhood. I'm sharing that shit.
That's good.
Wait, sorry, Jay. I remember earlier you said something about Henry Cavill.
Well,
Who's that?
You gotta watch his
he
stream.
plays Superman. He plays Superman in the Man of Steel, and the big scoop he had is that the shit's not over.
Good.
That Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And they're the part of Warner that hates Henry Cavill. They're the ones who love Amber Heard. They're just fucking scumbags. And they are fighting tooth and nail against the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League. In fact, the release of Godzilla versus Kong is a direct shot across the bow, trying to hurt Justice League by releasing that within 2 weeks. And it's like, I'm sorry, guys, you fucking lost this war. AT&T writes your fucking paychecks. You can fight them all you like, but they sign the checks.
Yeah.
You can only fight them for so long. And the only way they win is if Justice League is a failure. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be.
No. It doesn't matter if everybody hates this damn thing. It will not be a failure.
No.
So many people are going to watch.
I think it's going to be a massive success. I think that
it's going to be Endgame all over again.
I think Hamada and Toby Emmerich need to be shoved their faces right into the fucking muck to be made look like the shitheels that they are. They're the reason all this negative shit happened. They're the reason why Zach left and didn't get to finish the movie in the first place. Jeff Johns, part of the problem too. Joss Whedon, I believe the shit that's being said about him. I really do. I've never liked him. Well, you've heard me say this before, Sean. I think he's a hack. I think he's an absolute hack of a writer. I prefer the 1994 version of Buffy over his fucking dumb series.
Christy Sawyer?
Christy Swanson.
Swanson, that's it.
Yeah, Christy Swanson.
I just thought it
was such a dumb series. And I've got friends that like it, and they get mad when I say that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm a critic when it comes to good writing, and I didn't like the way that was written. I did like Angel, or is that Angel, the spinoff series? I enjoyed it. And
he didn't write for that one, though, did he?
He was the showrunner.
Right.
And, but there were other writers. He did oversee the plots and all that stuff. And I think he's fine in an over, skyscraper view of things. I think he does better. I don't think he's very good as a director. I think he's garbage. And I think he's a crap writer. And I think he's good at setting up stories and characters. And that's it. Leave other people to do the hard work. And he needs to fuck off. His brother is far more talented than he is. And he's a better person, too. There are stories. We're actually going to dedicate an entire series to explaining why Joss Whedon's such an asshole and why his brother isn't. We're going to tell the backstory of their family, all the shit that went down, that their parents are different. I think they share the same mother, different dads. I think that's what it is. Keith is our educator. He's the one that's going to be doing all the talking on this one. I'll just be making my typical jokes like, well, I guess that's why his name is Joss. I don't know what it'll mean, but you have to watch the show. And then
It's great.
That's the kind of humor you get with me. It's like I say something that's supposed to be the joke, but it's not. It's what I say about the joke after I make it that's funny.
That's totally my kind of humor. You're like, here's the punchline. In about a week, it's gonna slay.
That'll be on the interstate. Swerving.
It's like I made a joke one night and I didn't think anybody got it, but one person started laughing when I said it. And I said, it's sort of like that time when I showed up at your house back in October and I beat the shit out of you with a sock full of soap. The guy goes, what? And I went, oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's for later this year. It's on my calendar.
It's good. Sarcasm is so unappreciated.
Oh, it really is.
Well, I grew up. I like non sequitur humor.
Mhm.
I also followed the comedy comes in threes, and I went to that school to where no matter what joke you made earlier, find a way back to it again, and then before everything is over, one more fucking time. and I can always tell when I've got a friend who's got a good sense of humor. They will fucking start. Keith is one of those people, my partner. Part of my goal is just to get him to disappear off camera laughing during a show. I'm like, Keith, where'd you go? Oh, we lost our black guy.
Oh my god.
Just saying that alone will crack him up. We lost our black guy.
My favorite joke in the entire world is you'll be talking about one. I don't even think it has a name. You'll talk about one subject, you'll move to another subject, and then you'll reference the first subject again. So it's like Real Genius. They're like, Kent puts his name on everything, even his license plate. And then Mitch says, my mom does the same thing with my underwear. And then you go back to it, and he's like, your mom puts license plates in your underwear? How do you sit? Is my favorite kind of joke ever.
I love that kind.
I die every time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have one of my closest friends, another military veteran buddy of mine, and it's all he does. Like, I got mad at him once because like he pokes fun at my music, and it's funny. It is funny what he'll do. He'll change the lyrics to my songs to where it becomes either really gay or really redneck, and he has this thing where he'll walk up to you and he will intentionally mishear what you just said.
One of them.
Yeah, and I've done that too. I do that too. I do that to my stepdaughter.
I do that unintentionally.
I do it intentionally. It's like I do it to my stepdaughter, and she'll get frustrated. I'm like, I'm just messing with you. I heard you. I heard what you said. But I will go, why do you want to put tires on? Whatever. Yeah, and she'll go, that's not what I said. Oh, then what did you say? And I do interruptive stuff too. Like when you start to say something, I'll say the word you're about to say, like before you say it. And I'll cause people to like, what? And I went, nothing. I didn't say anything. That was just an echo from the future. I used to do it to teachers. I would drive them crazy. I would double talk them. And I saw a comedian do it once when I was a kid, and I fell in love with it. I'm like, I want to fucking do that to people. Oh my God. Because, some of the shit that I say that's funny, I don't say for anybody else. I say for me because I found it funny in my head. And I'll go, and then but when I was younger, I didn't have a filter. And I would say fucked up shit to people. And they would like go, what the fuck did you just say to me? And I went, I probably shouldn't have said that. It got me fired 3 fucking times as a kid. Like this, I worked at Taco Bell. I got fired my 3rd day at Taco Bell. 3rd fucking day. I was 18 and I had moved out because my dad kicked me out. I moved out, so I had moved across town. So I was late the first day because I didn't know what time I needed to take off. And then I moved the next day. And to a different spot in town, and I had to walk to work. I didn't have a car. I was poor. So I got to work and I was like 10 minutes late, and I told Clarence, the manager, and Clarence looked like a really skinny Dan Aykroyd from Saturday Night Live, young, Dan Aykroyd, not old.
Mhm.
And he's just kind of like hinky about the whole thing. Okay. I'm like, all right. So the next day I was less than 5 minutes late. And I was like, and before he could say anything, I could see he had a speech built up and ready to give it. And I cut the legs out from him by profusely apologizing and telling him, I've got it now. I know I need to take off this many minutes early to get here on time. It will never happen again. You have my word. And everything should have ended there. It should have ended there. But no, he had this buildup. And he had to do a release. And as I turned around, standing there in my paper apron, my paper hat with an aluminum boat oar, and I'm stirring meat and beans in floor vats. So there are big brushed steel pans over a floor grill. And I'm standing there with a fucking boat oar doing this. And he says to me, well, Gerry, you know, I just think you really need to take this job a little more seriously. That's all I think. And yes, he talked just like that. He sounded like Eddie Murphy doing a white voice. And yeah, I was like, he really did. And I did what comes natural. When I hear somebody say something absurd to me, I go, ha. And he goes, you find something funny about that? And I went, well, I mean, it's not that it's funny. It's just that I'm standing here at this very moment in a paper apron, paper hat, with a big giant aluminum boat oar stirring not first time cooked beans, but refried beans. And it just struck me as funny. And he said these exact words to me. Is that how you feel? And I went, yeah. And he goes, then you can leave and don't come back. Oh, wait, you're serious? Yeah, check out. Don't come back. And I went, okay. And so I'm like, but this is where the dick in me comes in, because Taco Bell's like one of my favorite places to eat, and it was the only Taco Bell in town. So I always made sure to show up when he was working, and I would wait. I would move line to line to make sure I got him. And I went, hey, Clarence, can I get a burrito with extra sour cream? Yeah, make it two. Awesome, thanks. It's really weird that you're serving me after you fired me. It's just, I don't want you to feel it's weird. I want you to feel comfortable with our relationship now that I'm customer and you're working for me now.
That's good.
And my future wife is still working there. She's in the back going, why do you do this? I don't know. I'm kind of a dick. I just say things that maybe I'll regret later. I don't know. I just want to find out. Will I regret that? And I didn't. I thought that was funny.
If you ever need another thing to do to piss people off, when they're in mid-sentence, just put a finger on their lips and go, shush, 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 shush.
Yeah, I found another one that does that too. Like right when somebody starts to talk to me, I'll turn and start talking to somebody else. And I went, no, go on. I was listening. And they're like, what the fuck? No, I'm totally listening to you. Go ahead. And then they'll start talking some more and I'll go, oh, and make sure. It's just one of those things I do just to fuck with people. Because I don't know what it is. Fucking with people is like one of my favorite things to do in my life. And it has been since I was a kid. I mean, it got me beat up. Quite a few times by my brothers. No, not by. I never lost a fight. I've been in a lot of fights. Never lost one, but except for with my brothers, because they would kick my fucking ass. But it was always worth it to me because I would just irritate the shit out of them because I was funny.
Yeah.
And I knew I was funny. My sister, said, you really have a very good sense of humor.
Well, that's good. Hey, man, Steve, do you still have to eat?
No.
I like your mustache, dude.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. My BFF does that shit. I can't do it. I'm weird about mustaches. Because I have one. It's gray. Time. It's gray, but it's there. It doesn't look like I have anything up there. But if they even touch the bottom lip,
oh, that's why it's curled.
I'm like cutting, and I have weird OCD, and I told you about fish. I don't like fish on my hands. I'm OCD about putting wax on my mustache. I tried it once, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it.
It takes some used to.
And Mac kept, Mac, who's my buddy, he's got the curl mustache. He's, come on, you get used to it. I can't get used to it. And I couldn't stand it. It really freaked me out, and I'm always doing this. And my girlfriend at the time was like, I can hear it when you do that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. So I trim my mustache to military grade. In the Army, you can't have a mustache beyond the corner of your mouth. And mine travels a little bit, but I trim it. And I always keep it thin. And I was not blessed with one of those where hair grows all over my face. I have this weird swirl right here. It looks like a black hole. I used to. I can't.
Years.
And now I've got so much gray in it. I will get like mutton chops like you have, but you can only see one side of my face. The other side is so white that it doesn't look like there's anything. So I just look like I don't know how to shave. So,
I'm getting pretty white now.
What are you in your 30s?
I am 39.
Holy shit! Yeah,
I started graying.
You're on the cusp of adulthood.
Finally.
Yeah. It's like I did not feel like a grown man until I hit 40, and it's also when I had my first anxiety attack. I ended up in the ER. I was playing drums for this band, and I got up in the middle of the show and walked.
Jesus!
They got up and they put their instruments down, and they're like, "Where the fuck's our drummer going?"
Show's over. I'm tired.
And I just got up and I walked away real quickly. And I sat down in this foyer of the building, and they said, "What the? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think I'm having a heart attack, and I didn't want to die in front of everybody."
It's very considerate.
And they're like, "Do we need to call 911?" Yeah, if you want to. I was real calm about it, and then I have all these tests done. I was in and out of the hospital like 5 times that week. What the fuck is going on? And finally, this doctor looked at me. He says, "You're healthy as shit. Your problem is you have anxiety." And I'm like, "Fuck you. I'm Zen. I don't give a shit about anything." And they went, "Oh, you think you're Zen, but inside your head, you're freaking out about something." And I finally figured out what it was. I just turned 40, and I wasn't where I wanted to be in my career. And I was in a panic. And I was a single dad raising a kid, and I'm like, I'm fucked.
I'm in that boat right now, except for the single part. I'm married.
Single parent. Yeah, it's
still
like
married, so we're fine.
Yeah, I went through this weird shit where with my daughter back in 2002 through 2004, I ugly custody battle, and there was a kidnapping. Jesus. And I got her back thanks to the cops, and but it was just a really rough time for me. And apparently, I started the first stages of PTSD because of it. You walk away because I'm like, fuck it, I'm fine. And then like one day I was a healthy dude, man. I was an athlete, and one day I wake up and I'm like 650 pounds. And it was like, holy shit, what the fuck? And I'm having diabetic problems and heart issues, and I get diagnosed with everything. And I lost about 300 pounds of it. I'm still a big old fatty Bo-Batty, but a lot less fatty Bo-Batty than I was. And
congratulations.
For being less fatty. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, hey, achievements, right?
Yeah, and one of the jokes we have, like on some of the shows we'll do, Tom will get involved with this shit. Start talking about how I can't see my dick. Tom says, "Yeah, but you can see it when you get a mirror."
I do that to my bosses all the time.
Vader.
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy?
Vader's probably getting off work soon.
It's 1:30 in the morning here in Missouri.
2:30 for me.
My woman's done playing games, so she turned off the light.
No.
Oh.
Well, I gotta get going soon anyway. It's gonna be 3
Well,
hours.
it's fun hanging out with you guys. Steve, it was
Yeah,
nice
it was
meeting you,
good.
man.
You too, man.
I
Check
love
out your
Sean.
channels and stuff.
I follow Sean on Twitter and interact with him occasionally.
He's actually walking to his car.
I think you'd catch a lot of my dickish humor.
Oh yeah. Well, all I know is dickish humor. So that's all I grew up with.
Yeah, it's like that artist that added Gina Carano back in to the Star Wars artwork. He's like way too nice a guy, and he was like, oh, "I got like a lot of hate for putting it back in," and I said, "That's a badge of honor, man." And he goes, "I don't look at things that way. I want to get along with everybody." I'm like, okay.
Good luck.
I'm getting old and
that'll
bitter.
never.
I don't care.
That's like wishing one hand, shit in the other, and see which one gets filled up first. Because you can try all you want to get along with everybody, but there's a group of people out there fucking hate you, whether you know it or not. And the best thing to do for your own psyche is accept it and embrace it, and you'll feel better for it.
Every time I get a thumbs down on a video, I'm like, yes, we're doing something right.
I know. I pissed somebody off. And we started getting our first negative shit. Like I posted this like comment. I don't remember what the fuck I said. That just got tons of hate. And I just basically came at each person going, oh man, you remember that time I gave a shit what you fucking said? Me either.
See, I'm kind of the opposite on Twitter because I will be kind to like the extreme to the point where they don't know how to respond to me because I'm so nice to them.
Oh, I've done that occasionally just to fuck with them. Yeah, it's like, oh bless you, you sound like you're having a rough time. And they're like, what is it?
Yeah,
I didn't say anything that showed I was having a rough time. I'm just being a dick.
Is this a geode reference?
On my computer, but I don't think it got anything done tonight. Fucking rocks.
Just sit around fucking rocking.
I posted that snippet from Wikipedia, and people just started posting pictures of rocks as action figures.
One of them, I posted a comment. I'm gay for this thread. That's all I said. I am totally gay for this thread. What does that even fucking mean? And then I wrote that. I said, and is that a thing? If I were gay and this thing was the thing I was gay for, I would be a power top. I just love saying fucked up shit like that to people because it gets them like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And are we going to get canceled?
Yeah,
Geo
memes forever.
They tried to pull it. What if we pull it? Nobody noticed. No, the world noticed.
Yeah.
You were stupid in public. Yes.
People immediately started retweeting because they saved the video, and they were like, "It exists. It's on the internet. You will never get rid of it."
So was it a joke or is it an actual thing?
No, it was for real.
Okay.
You can look it up
it's the navigator on this ship called the Vessel.
Right.
And the captain's name is Leox Gacy, which just reads like Leo X is gay.
Mm-hmm. Pope
Leo. Because it's some odd, because anagrams and all that shit. And it's like, Leo X is gay? Like, who thought this name up? And why would you do such a lame anagram? Just you're not even nobody's trying over there. They're idiots. They're fucking idiots. They don't know how to tell stories. They don't know. It's like children will like this. No, they won't.
More than half of them
Your
hate
books
Star
will
Wars.
not sell. The only people that are going to buy those books are woke ass parents, and then they're going to collect dust and end up in the garbage bin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's optimistic.
Yeah, I know. How's your comic doing?
We're arranging things for printing purposes. I have like 108 pages total, and it's part 1 of the story.
Yeah, see, now you should have said, I have 108 pages, but none of them are mine.
Yeah. But see, that's why I do the YouTube thing. Is I've been trying to build an audience that might want to buy the comic eventually. I just don't know if enough people want to buy it.
I'm trying to turn my light down because, man, when she turned off that overhead, I got really white. Yeah, I'm caucasoidal.
But yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I've been wanting to play a Conan game on the 360 all weekend, and I haven't been able to.
Yeah, and our only witness is Matt.
No,
Hey,
that's
Matt,
fine.
before we hop off here, and you guys are welcome to join in as rotating guests. Every Friday, we're going to do a live stream. And like this we've done 2 already for this new season. This is our 3rd season. And we're just going to live stream. And we're trying to do it before Friday Night Tights. So we can have the guys like Tom, Andre, and Rob from Midnight's Edge to show up on the show occasionally. But you guys come on there and we can have you on first as a guest to talk about your comic book. Or are you doing it as a comic or a graphic novel?
It's a graphic novel. It's
108 pages. Now, I've the one I shared with you is actually being broken up into chapters, but it is a 124-page graphic novel.
Nice.
But each chapter is the length of a floppy comic.
So. Sure. This I wrote it as like a 200-page novel a long time ago, and then I rewrote it as a script, a lengthy script. So it's just me.
Oh yeah, you're one of those guys.
And it's been a long road to get to this point.
I had an author that said, I want to turn this into a graphic novel. So he sends me a script. It's going to be a 124-page graphic novel. He sends me a script, and this fucking thing is heavy in the envelope. I open the envelope, I pull it out, and I flip to the very last page to see what the number is. I close it back up. I put it back in the envelope, sealed it up, sent it back to him. I said, I need you to get this script down to 124 pages or less. And he goes, but, and I went, no, I'm going to explain something to you. As your comic book artist, you're not writing to the audience, you're writing for me. You're telling me the things that are important to me as an artist. You are not paying me to read your fucking book. You're paying me to draw it. I don't give a shit what that person is feeling internally. Don't care. Don't care. I don't care. You can tell me all you want to, and I tune you out because I don't fucking care. When you need to send this to an editor that knows something about comic books. He didn't know anybody. So he hired my friend with the mustache I was telling you about. He's a comic book editor as well as a writer. And he edited the entire graphic novel down to 124 pages.
Nice.
As I asked. But I still, once I got into the book, I had to rewrite stuff because like I got to a single panel that had close to about 160 words in it. And I said to him, you can't do that in a comic book. And he goes, well, can you break it up? I said, no, I can't break it. It'll be the same panel for an entire fucking page over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm not one of those guys. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite what you fucking wrote here and simplify it down to the barest essentials of what you're trying to say. I said it, and I do expect you to pay me an extra $25 for doing this because I'm doing your fucking work. I am an ass. There's a video of me out there. I'm serious on YouTube ranting about writers and how they annoy me.
I could see it. I did like seven drafts of it as a book, and then I decided to try and turn it into a webcomic.
Jesus Christ, what the do you
and then
like write in the bathroom and never leave? That's a lot of fucking writing for one book.
Yeah, well, it was the first thing I ever did. So then it's.
I don't believe it. I bet you masturbated before you did that.
Once or twice. So then when I was like, I'm just gonna turn this into a comic because that's what I've been meant to do it as a comic forever. So then I tried to chop it down
in your head.
Yeah. I tried to chop it down into a script, and then even when I'm drawing the pages, I'm still editing that down, where I'll have like a page of, story, and I'm like, I need to condense this into like 2 panels, or it's just like a constant editing process.
Well, you do have to give up eventually, and yeah, and I mean that in all sincerity.
That's true.
There's no such thing as a completed film or book, only abandoned ones.
Yeah,
it's like you hit a certain point, and even I think Stephen King is like the best as well as worst at this. It's like I sat down, I'm writing it. This is going to be a great book, and it's great. And then he gets like, holy shit, I've written 1,500 pages. I better wrap this shit up. Ride a bike down a hill. It was a turtle all along.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it's the worst ender of books.
It's taken me so long to draw this whole thing that like I told my wife, I'm like, I've been staring at it so long that I don't think it's good anymore. And she's like, just put it out. She's like, you're never gonna finish if you don't just put something out.
Your wife is correct. Your wife is 100% correct.
Yeah.
It's like, write a story out. This is how I do it. I write a story out, and it's usually just the ideas. Sometimes I throw in some minimalist dialogue to show where they're going, where this is going. Because I think sometimes the story is less important than what the dialogue, because dialogue should always drive your story forward. I learned that in writing school. And so I follow that lesson. And it's taught by some of the best screenwriters from history. It's like every bit of dialogue should drive your story forward. Quentin Tarantino would never fucking understand that. It's like, that guy doesn't understand writing at all, but he writes great dialogue. But his films, like Act 1 is good. Act 2 is like, where the fuck are we going? And then we get to Act 3 and it's like, how did we fucking get here? And that's Quentin Tarantino. But it's a fun voyage. He writes fun films. But when you step back and look at them critically, they're fucking weird. Yeah. It's like, how did you even manage that? That was high. I mean, I think that's his and the guys from South Park's answer to everything. So where'd you get that idea from? Acid, weed.
Well, that was like the joke with Stephen King and It. It's like the co-author was cocaine, or The Shining. The Shining. Yeah.
It was actually, I considered it probably one of his best books until the end. And then I started noting this running theme with him that he would rush the endings after he like builds all this great narrative. And then we get to the last chapter and it's like, let's wrap that shit up quick. Yeah. And so I used to tell people, with Stephen King, most of the time, just read to the last chapter, close the book, and make up your own ending. You'll be much happier. And but yeah, he did drugs, and he's fucking weird. I mean, he's weird. I enjoy his books, but as far as I'm concerned, the two real horror writers of today are what's his name? Dinar Kuntz.
Oh yeah, and, Mr. Murder.
Fuck, I love his writing, man. He knows how to tell a story. I've hated every iteration of Phantoms that they've. I mean, not Phantoms. One with the dog. God damn it! They've done it over and over again as movies, and they're all terrible. But the book is a masterpiece about a Vietnam vet who's ready to kill himself, and this dog shows up, and it makes him decide to stay alive and not kill himself. And it wants him out of the woods because something's behind it. And the sense of dread in that, just fucking wow. I love that book. And Phantoms is a great book too. They changed it for the film, but you know what? I like the film. That was a good film.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
In the book, it was a mother and daughter, not sisters. It's like, I'm not sure exactly why they did that, but yeah, it's like, I guess so. Ben Affleck and Liev Schreiber can hit on both of them. I don't know.
Yeah. But he was the bomb in Phantoms.
Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah,
I get that reference.
But I like Phantoms. It's a good film. Peter O'Toole was great in it. He was so eccentric. God, that fucking dude. If you've never read the stories of those guys, Richard Harris, Oliver Reed, Peter O'Toole, Richard Burton, insane fucking drinkers. And they would go on benders. And I think my favorite Richard Burton story was, he says, I told my wife, I'm going to pop around to the store and pick up some fags. And he goes to buy some cigarettes. And he sees something in a newspaper about his favorite team is in town. So he goes over and sees them. And fast forward 2 weeks later, he shows up back home. And he's standing outside trying to figure out what to say. And he finally goes up to the door and he knocks on the door. And his wife opens the door and he goes, why the hell didn't you pay the ransom?
That's good.
Those guys, some of the best stories.
I think that's where we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So Gerry, tell Matt Vader where you can see.
Well, Matt, you can find me on this website called The Twitter, and I do Twitters there, and I interact with you occasionally on the Twitter. I usually talk about your butt and or the lack you have thereof, and that's it, Matt.
All right.
You can find me on the YouTubes as Pop Culture Minefield. And the Pop Culture Minefield is many on the Twitters.
All right. I usually have a spiel for the outro, but I'm terrible at doing this, and I don't have anything open ever.
You'll enjoy doing a show at 4:00 in the afternoon. I will put you on the spot.
I will have to take a sick day or something and just show up on your show because I usually work at that.
What I usually do, Steve, you'll like this, is like if somebody doesn't talk a lot, I call them on it and I draw all attention onto them about something I suspect they may not know shit about. What do you think about that? You've been awfully quiet.
One thing I'm good at is bullshitting. I can talk when I need to, but I like to listen to what other people have to say first.
Yeah, I had a professor in school say I had that gift.
Oh, I can't imagine. So
Never would have guessed.
So, folks, if you stuck around this long, I want to ask
Nobody
that you
stuck around, just Matt.
No, just Matt. Matt, I want to ask that you like. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. That's great. Matt, subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you want to check out Steve's, it's getting late. If you want to check out Steve's Instagram where he posts nonsense, you can find him at SJP Second Toy Chest. And if you want to check out my hopefully crowdfunding, I have to search for it. I wasn't prepared. If you want to check out my snippets of my future, that's not the right one. On.
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the one. If you want to check out snippets from my future crowdfunding comic.
You draw so much like my buddy Matt McGuire from the band Guar.
Or does he draw like me?
He's older, so he wins. Age always plays part.
maybe I'm. Yeah.
I get corrected so much when I joke and say, "Why does Drew Struzan draw so much like me?" I'm friends with Drew, so.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, my brain's winding down. Anyway, the real smacked in the head. Look at my comic stuff.
That's badass, dude. I fucking love that artwork.
Thanks. You should.
It's too bad you're such a tool in real life.
This isn't real life. Star Trek
simulation.
Star Trek 5 told me it's all a dream.
Simulated tool.
I'm actually because my videos of drawing male characters don't get enough attention. I realize the female drawing videos do a lot better, so I'm just doing a random all these buttons. I'm just doing a random cave woman drawing video now. So that's how it's looking so far.
Woo!
Tigress. Very good.
Yeah, that should be soon.
You can bet the cancel culture's coming after you. You gave her big old fleshy boobs.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking about titling it, or at least hashtagging it Women's Month or something like that. So
Powerful women. I mean, come on. There's nothing wrong with that in my eyes.
Yeah. Raquel Welch
And then
is
make
the
sure
best.
to tag, and say something in there, like she's built backwards. She's friendly twice a month and a bitch the rest of it. That should win over feminists.
And I'll tag the Mary Sue on it.
God, those guys are idiots.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's the show. Right. Steve has to go to bed. He's probably going to stay up.
I need to as well.
Yeah. I need to play Conan for an hour.
All right, go enjoy it.
All right, guys. That's it. See you next time. New video soon. Check out everybody. And communication.